Well, that was one way to screw up an intro. I don't know if you saw that. That was terrible. If this is the way it's
we
gonna
got
go,
we got to work out we got to work everything out in the playoffs.
if this is the way it's gonna go, we're screwed. Welcome back, everybody. It's myself, Kyle, along with Peter here from the Sticks and the Six podcast, and this is the first of what is sure to be many live watch-alongs as the playoffs begin tonight. It already started earlier today, but for us, it begins tonight as we're in for a fantastic game one tonight. The Leafs are in Boston for game one of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals matchup. And I think RJ put in the comments above who the starting goaltenders are tonight. You have Ilya Samsonov taking on Linus Ullmark in net tonight. Some people may be questioning that one, but regardless, we are in for a fantastic night. We're also in for a fantastic first round. Why? It's because we're going to be live every single night for the next week and a half. So much more Leafs Bruins games. Tomorrow we got 2 live streams going on this weekend. It's sure to be very exciting as the playoffs, for us at least, begins in the next 15 minutes, give or take, 10, 15 minutes. But regardless, Peter, I can explain, first of all. I know I told you beforehand before we jumped on, but I can explain. I have like my minor hockey jersey on. By no means I am a Leaf fan, but I just wanted to get into the spirit of tonight. So, and because I'm really excited for this matchup.
Yeah.
So we're finally here. We've done a lot
We
of
are
streams.
here. We are
You're
here.
here, myself, and we've done a couple games this year, and I think every game went to overtime. So I'm sure our buttholes were a little tight. I'm sure it's going to be more tighter when we start get going in this series. But how do you feel going into game one tonight?
I really don't know how to feel right now. I mean, I really want to be optimistic. I really do. But the past hurts. The past is in the past. I get that.
Does it still hurt?
I mean, 2013, 2018, 2019. Yeah, it still hurts like hell. Again, that's all in the past now. It's 2 different teams. I totally get that, but that there is still that mental game where once it's in the Maple Leafs' head, they are their own worst enemy, and that's what I'm afraid of. One or 2 things how I think this can play out is either the Maple Leafs actually buckle down, play like a top tier contender should be, and hopefully whatever ailed them in the last 4 games defensively, kind of like they work that out. So hopefully that is in the cards, but it's kind of hard not to ignore what has happened. I do think that this team, forward-wise, can get the job done. It's what they can do in their defensive zone that's going to be the big issue. I mean, you look at Matthews, Marner, Nylander isn't playing, but this core, they've been through a lot of Toronto-Boston series. So I hope this is in the back of their heads and be like, you know what, enough is enough kind of thing. And hopefully they can, put Boston on the ropes again, kind of like what Florida did last year, end it and give some disappointment.
And that's the biggest thing you mentioned, right? Going into tonight is that a lot of concern with Marner maybe as being the guy that needs to step up. A lot of concern with that defense, a lot of concern with Samsonov. Whereas you listen to Steve Dangle earlier today, I mean, when they dropped that Leafs Bruins preview, and it's the fact that really on paper, this Leafs team should win this series, right?
Mm-hmm.
And okay, great, but you have to play these games, right? And this Bruins team is just, they're mean, they're bullies, and that's the way they like it, right? And it's going to be certainly interesting to see what happens here tonight. So Jared's got his prediction here at 4-3 in OT. Also, I wanted to shout out Jared because he's actually at the game tonight as well too in game 2. So hopefully,
Jared.
Hopefully, it's a fantastic atmosphere there tonight. Mm-hmm. Eric also checking in to say hi. Daniel coming back in, and also Sal saying hi as well. And of course, we can't forget Danelle, who's back with us again. And he's actually asking if that's an Adidas jersey that you have on. I think it is, right? Is it Adidas?
Adidas or nothing. Adidas or nothing. So yeah, it is an Adidas Matthews. I'm sorry, I am not ready to go to Fanatics at all.
Good.
So
I don't blame you. Awesome. Well, Jared did have his predictions up. I figure before we get too in depth with this, we give our predictions tonight for game one. Unless, up to you. Do you want to give the predictions for the entire series and then tonight, or might as well? I mean, we might as well decide who wins the series. So I'll leave it with you first. Who do you got winning the series?
For the series, I do have Boston in 6. For a lot of reasons. One, that goaltending duo of Ullmark and Swayman could be the difference maker. Toronto's had some question marks. Samsonov has looked great in the second half. Mm-hmm. Need to see some consistency. Again, defense is going to be huge. But again, I think it's all going to come down to the mental game and history. If Toronto can put this behind them, then maybe advantage for them. But I'm just not sold just yet. As for the first game, I think the Maple Leafs can get off to a good start. I think they may take game one. But again, a lot of things need to happen, and I hope they prove me wrong. I know I'm a Leafs fan or a Leafs writer as well. But Boston, Florida, they're two juggernauts at this point. So
and he doesn't stick with his team.
Yeah.
I can't talk because I'm wearing the jersey too.
I will say this. So one of the Instagram comments said that I need to be suspended for the rest of the series because of my prediction. Because I was the only one that took Boston out of the three of us. So
beautiful.
maybe there's a point there, but I'm just going with my gut at this point. I'm less confident. I'm less confident this season than what I was last season against Tampa.
So here's my thing. I've got Boston winning the series too. I've got them winning in 5. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I say that because I'm going to put a lot of pressure on, again, going to the Leafs side of things here, but I'm going to put a lot of pressure on Mitch Marner here because this is a guy, and this was kind of talked about a lot of the times, even back when they were playing their series against Boston, the 2 times I think that he was playing there. The guy's a perimeter player, right? What you need to see him start doing is start crashing the net. A, crashing the net, or B, just start approaching it and taking these shots from the hash marks, right? It's something that he hasn't really been able to do in these past playoffs. And it was kind of mentioned through, previous other Toronto podcasts as well, too, in the past couple of years and all that. So
it was even evident in Florida last year, too, where the physicality was amped up and he kind of shied away and backed away from all of that, losing puck control and everything like that, because maybe he, obviously we know how skilled he is, but he just can't handle that physicality.
Right. And in this type of series, you can't shy away from that, right? So that's the biggest thing for me when I look at him. And then just looking on the other side of the coin here with Boston. Again, you look on paper, this Leafs team should win on paper. On the ice, though, you have to give credit where credit is due for Brad Marchand. He's been able to really carry this team, Patrice, being the guy that he was, the captain, and now you hand the reins over to Brad Marchand. I mean, this team just looks ready tonight. So before I kind of jump to the comments again real quick, I wanted to ask you, because I put it out on social media the other day and asked people who your X factor is for this series. I can't remember what I put on there, but I'm going to say for my X factor for both teams, I think James Van Riemsdyk is going to play a big part in this series for the Boston Bruins. Funny enough, the last time Van Riemsdyk was in the Leafs jersey, he actually played against Boston back in, I think, what was that, 2013? It was a long time ago, right? And so I think James Van Riemsdyk is, I think so. Anyway, so I think he's going to play a really big factor going into tonight and even this whole series. He's a guy that I think is he's just not going to be looked at enough, right? And for the Leafs, I think you can take some obviouses here, but I got to go with Mitch here as an X factor and just say that, and not necessarily an X factor, but more or less a guy who's just got to step up. So who do you have before I kind of jump back to the comments here?
Yeah, I agree with Mitch. I think that he needs to step it up. I mean, one of the big boys, even Austin Matthews, because even, sometimes in their previous playoff series against Boston, he was kind of quiet. But if we get Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner from Tampa Bay, look out. For Toronto, I think it's going to be Bertuzzi and Domi. They were brought in for this whole entire reason to be chippy, in your face, and everything like that. And even Ryan Reeves set the tone early. As for Boston, you know what? Charlie Coyle. I think he's going to play. Obviously, we talked about the absence of Patrice Bergeron, David Krejci.
Right.
He's done a really good job production-wise for the Bruins and giving them secondary scoring. He is not a name to take lightly in terms of secondary production. So I'm going to see him as a name to keep an eye on and be an X factor for Boston.
Nice. Okay, great. Love it. Let's go back here for a second here. Who do you think would win these non-playoff series? I'm doing for my channel. Red Wings, Canadiens, Sabres, Senators. Oh, God. Red Wings would smoke the Canadiens. It's not even close.
Red Wings,
And Buffalo, I think, would take that one too. It wouldn't be close really in that one. So Jared again is at the game here. It looks pretty wild here, not gonna lie. And I love the fact that he's got a Pat Maroon jersey. So I approve. I love that.
TD
awesome.
Garden, I like, say what you want. The atmosphere is always rocking there. It's like top 5 arenas where the atmosphere is just absolutely electric.
You got to imagine having, because this is the first time you're going to have Ryan Reeves with you in the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to imagine that Reeves is going to really pull these guys together and say, like, look, like, why are we afraid of these guys, right? He could be a voice that
he's
really
got to drop the gloves and set
roster,
the tone early if anything goes south. Not south in terms of, like, you know, whether the Maple Leafs are down, whether they're getting outplayed. Get some energy, you know, lay a big time hit.
Something.
Do what you got to do because you were brought in here to set the tone.
Exactly. You know? Danelle asking, how did you guys feel about the Coyotes' last game in the desert, moving to Utah? It honestly came down to ownership, right? The ownership in Arizona was pretty pathetic in my eyes. And, you know, we can obviously get into that. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit more in intermission.
That press conference was just absolutely
that was the worst press conference I've seen in years. That was terrible.
You could tell why they folded because of that owner. 100%.
Totally. Yeah. So maybe we'll get more into intermission, but I mean, sucks for the fans. I feel that, but I think this is still a good move, and there's no reason why they won't go back to Arizona. I think they'll try to make it work still, but different ownership, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely.
A couple more Bruins fans coming in tonight. I think that's going to be the majority of the conference tonight.
I'm going to get bullied tonight, aren't I?
I might even too for just wearing the jersey. Like legit. Yeah. Connor checking in too as well. If the Leafs were 100% honest with us, don't watch us if you have heart palpitations. I mean, you can probably speak from experience.
Wait, is Jeremy Swayman starting?
So I read Allmark. I think RJ had Allmark, but
did they do an old switcheroo kind of thing?
Well, so the thing is they weren't releasing their lineups, but I think you have to do it at a certain time. They step on the ice, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree, Connor. Connor, to let you know, we will be doing Canucks live streams. It probably won't be till later in the week. Game 3, we'll be doing Predators and Canucks later this week. Dylan will be doing that game because I forced him to do it. So, well, kind of, sort of. He just said he'd do it. So, but still, whatever, same thing. Wish it was at the game. It looks sick, though. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Bruins logo this year? I think it's kind of nice. Like.
I love it.
Change it from what they used to have. Like, just freshen it up a little bit.
Because of the 100th anniversary thing, I really do love the logo. It's simple. It's plain. Honestly, I even like the little tint of changing the yellow to the gold. I think it's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've been as soon as I saw like the design for this season, I'm like, you know what? Sometimes
it's a nice touch.
Is the best thing.
And even like the jerseys that they have are really nice too. They were showing the lineups earlier, and I forgot to mention that, you know, just Boston's defense, I think, is being overlooked a little bit. You got Lindholm on a line with McAvoy. Apparently, they were talking about it wasn't really working well against Matthews the couple of times they were facing each other early on in the year. Mm-hmm. Mind you, Bruins won all 4 games. Grzelcyk back there with Brendan Carlo, I believe. And I apologize if I'm missing the 2 others, but still, it's a good decor they have back there. I think they're really good 1 through 6 on that defense. And, you know, I think the important thing for Boston is, and what I'm curious to watch about too, is that if Swayman doesn't play well tonight, let's say Matthews goes and gets a hat trick for whatever reason, I don't know. And you can say the same thing on the other side too for Samsonov. If he doesn't have a good night tonight, you know, when do you turn to Joseph Woll, right?
You have to go right away. Either or for Swayman and Allmark, for Samsonov Woll. In a short series like this, you have to find an answer right away.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm more or less curious with these 2 teams in terms of their goaltending, right? You know, Samsonov, they're showing here 3.13 goals against average. He's got a 890 save percent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm losing already. Anyway. And so they do have Swayman in tonight at a 916 save percentage and 2.53 goals against average. So wasn't the strongest years of Samsonov, but he's played decent as of late. Maybe not his last 2 games, but
have to remember that save percentage accounts to the first half of the season when he wasn't great.
Right.
But, you know, on looking at that face value, not great. But the second half, top 15 goaltender in the league.
So good. And with that, here we go. Game 1, Leafs, Bruins, and the puck is no, because there's a lot of fighting already with Marchand. They haven't even dropped it yet, and it's it looks like it's Domi and Marchand.
That's what you want to do. Get in the head.
Marchand and Domi already going at it, boys, and we haven't even dropped the puck yet. And Domi wants to go out. We're underway here in Boston.
I love that.
Leafs and Bruins.
Here's the thing. I love that little box out right there to not let him get into that circle right there.
Right.
Like he literally like turned his body in just to block him. Big hit by Bird on the forecheck right there as well.
This is going to be such. So, of course, they threw Domi out there and they wanted to match him up, right?
Yeah.
And Marchand's probably looking at Domi like, what are you doing?
But that's who you want. You want Bert and Domi to make their life miserable. You want to get under his skin. And if Marchand does something stupid, that goes into Maple Leafs' favor. You could get a power play. Then again, Maple Leafs' power play hasn't been that great. Maybe
they're going to get tested now. They're going to get tested now, right?
Yeah.
So Neil, just to give everybody an update, tomorrow, to let you know the schedule, Jimmy's going to be doing Rangers Capitals tomorrow at 3:00. Neil and myself will be doing Avalanche Jets tomorrow night at 7. So you got 2 games going on for us tomorrow if you want to come join us then.
So second line is Marner, Tavares, and Nyes, and replace for Nylander.
Also, let us know in the comments. Sorry, cut you off. Let us know in the comments predictions for the series. I want to hear it. I want to hear everybody's predictions for the series as we got Jay has Bees in 7. Jake has the Leafs in 7. So a lot of people are going to have this series, I think, going 7 games. I think that's safe to say.
Not to say you want to base it off 1 minute, but the Maple Leafs up 2-0, 1 minute in, and we're aggressive on the forecheck. But this is the problem right here. You do not want to give this team any space on the rush when they're coming in. You want to get that stick on. You want to disrupt stuff.
How do you feel about William Nylander being on the third line with Holmberg and I don't know who else?
Yarncroke. At the point, it looks like either Yarncroke. That was an easy. That could have been an easy quick goal right there.
Right.
Oh, okay. Come on. This is what I want. I'm sorry, Kyle. You want to get that balance, right? I mean, having Marner on Matthews' wing was too predictable.
Right.
When Marner went down, Domi felt was a great placeholder, was a little bit more aggressive, was a little bit more quick with his passes, I thought. So bumping Marner down to the second line, no issue there. And then Nylander on the third. You want to get that balance of scoring. That's the main issue. You were trying to, like, if you need to stack up the lineup, then you go full out Matthews, Marner, Nylander. But get that balance at 5-on-5 because the Maple Leafs do have other speedy weapons. I mean, Yarncroke and Robertson, or even Holmberg, if they're on that line, Holmberg showed that he could handle himself at this point. Robertson's looked great down the stretch, which is why he's in the lineup, but then again, injuries as well. Really think that that's going to be a big issue, and there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
What a start. Bad 2-on-1 right away, and all of a sudden the Bruins one shot on goal on Samsonov, and the Bruins take a 1-0 lead thanks to Beecher? What?
Yeah, you got 4-0 shots and you allow an odd man rush.
Unbelievable. What a start here. Bad odd man rush. Nobody else back. And it looks like it's Boquist there. He finds Beecher and just goes 5-hole there on Samsonov. And just like that, the Bruins lead 1-0. Man, it was over his glove too. That's a tough start, but there you go. I mean, the Leafs brought a lot of pressure there early on, but all of a sudden it just takes one shot here. And Samsonov's been kind of known to do that, especially a lot throughout the year, where it's just these 1 or 2 shots on, and all of a sudden it's an early lead for the opposing team.
Yeah, and maybe Samsonov could have had that. Like that probably was an easy goal, but you can't. The main thing was the rush offense. You cannot give this team any chances with odd man rushes on the attack and anything like that because that's what's going to hurt you. The Maple Leafs are very slow on the back end to react to that, and it's definitely evident right there. I mean, they had good pressure for the first 2 minutes, And then all of a sudden, see, here's the thing. If I was Reeves, I wouldn't worry about the second hit right there.
I was just about to say that. And I
Just saw
think
that
Connor
right there.
calls him out. I was going to say Connor calls him out too as well.
Yeah.
You don't go in, you don't make that second hit. You need to worry about, why is my defenseman pinching right there when I know I have to be back just in case and something like that.
And that's the thing. I think that was a
right
good
away.
read by Edmondson to try and, keep the play alive. But it's up to Reed, the wingers or whoever the extra forward is. You got to cover for that guy. I mean, that's just
exactly
basic hockey 101 right there. Always cover and always support. There's always this one thing where I always say, never trust your defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a bad way, but you always have to support them, because if they get caught, that's a big issue right there.
And it's John Beecher, by the way. Thank you, RJ. Fourth liner, John Beecher, all of a sudden. And the Boston Bruins with one shot on goal, 4 minutes into this one. And the Bruins take a 1-0 lead here in game one. For those of you wondering what happened earlier today, if you hadn't heard already, the Hurricanes won game one over the New York Islanders. They won it 3-1. It was pretty close. I don't know if you saw a little bit of that game.
I saw a bit of it, yeah.
Pretty close all the way to the third, and then Carolina just kind of took over a little bit after the one goal by Nosen. It just, one empty netter, I think it was, and that's all it wrote, right? But I give the Islanders a lot of credit. They fought hard in that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so as soon as the Bruins scored, they brought out that Matthews line right away. Right? Does that show, how desperate this team is already 5 minutes in? As soon as they score, it's like, hey, we need our big boys out there.
Any instance, you got to get the big guys out there. I mean, they're offensive weapons for a reason, to try and get something going. I mean, the fourth line was the one that cost you that goal, right? So you don't really want to keep them out there. You don't want you need to get that advantage. That even if it was a second line, fine. But with Matthews, you got to go to him, because they're the line that's been dominant up until this point.
Do you think they'll get to a point throughout the series, depending on where it's at, where they become too dependent on him? And there's a lot of distraction, even the last couple of weeks, whether or not he hits 70 and how that was a major thing. And, obviously I think he was a little disappointed that he didn't get it the other night against Tampa, but it's dude, you have to worry about more important things coming up, especially, going into tonight, especially they're showing the keys to success here. I know you probably see it on your end, where it's literally Ilya Samsonov, right?
And score first for Boston, which they did on Ilya Samsonov.
Right. And that's such a concern. If that's your key to success, where you need Samsonov to play well, that's not a good sign. That tells you right away that you're worried about this goaltending unit.
Yeah. And to answer your first question about relying heavily on Matthews, I mean, he's the big guy for a reason, 69 goals a season, get paid. Marner, Tavares, these are your guys that you need to rely on heavily. Just like Boston they always try to rely on Marchand, Pasternak. Don't have as many offensive weapons this time, but Edmonton with, Hyman, McDavid, Draisaitl right now, McKinnon, Rantanen, Makar in Colorado, your big boys have to be your big boys. They have to be. That's just, you would like the depth to step up. It's a team game. You can't always rely on them, but in key moments, they're the ones that have to take over and show it.
You got it, right? You're getting paid for it. You better do it, right? Connor, did you see what Connor's saying here about the playoff predictor for NHL 24? Did you see it? I think it was the Canucks. They had him winning it.
Didn't see the predictor, but I did see that, Corgi make the predictions.
Oh, I watched the Corgi too. He's so
the thing is, the Corgi picked the Leafs. So I don't know if I should just...
You should trust that.
Trust the Corgi and a penalty coming up to Toronto.
Called. Benoit getting called here. Did you see it? I missed it last second. Benoit getting called here. We're going to hear it here in a second, getting a little replay here as Charlie Coyle goes in on Benoit, and it is going to be high sticking for Simon Benoit. I'm just assuming.
The stick did come up high, but it looked like Coyle pushed the stick up as well.
It looked like it.
He got a hand on that and brought it up to his face.
So they're gonna.
So it's a hook. Okay, yeah, no, there was an initial hook there. If it was a high stick and he brought it up to his face, come on.
Yeah. Okay. So.
No, I was initially going to say hook because that's what I first saw.
Also, I forgot it was Canucks Bruins that NHL 24 predicted. And the Canucks 1-7, I think, is what it was.
Oh, God. That's going to be too much pain and torture.
So here's the thing, and I bring this up because when I was watching Bruins, I watched a bit of the end of the Bruins Senators in their last game this week. And the Bruins power play was just dominant. And even though they couldn't put it in the back of the net,
Yeah.
they were just so quick and so good on the power play. And that's got to be a concern too. You don't want to give this team too many chances because of all the likes like, Coyle can win faceoffs pretty well. You've got, Pasternak out there. You throw Marchand out there. You got the perimeter guy in McAvoy who can play basically quarterback for this unit. Mm-hmm. And they're throwing Heinen out there too as well, for a guy who can maybe clean it up in front of the net. So it's got to be showing the
power. They were just showing the power play drought for Pasternak and Marchand.
Oh, okay.
On like a lot of minutes, no production, no nothing. So yeah, that is right where they, do need to be dominant, but they're not capitalizing on anything. And just to touch on Heinen, I mean, I've wanted the Maple Leafs to try and sign him because he's that bottom six guy that can really just be a thorn in your side, really.
Right.
Interesting to put him on the first power play, but that's a guy that I've always liked in terms of his two-way game, forechecking, all of that.
For sure.
That's the kind of player or prototypical model that I would love to have on my team.
And that's the thing too. I mean, the model that you speak of, I mean, it's got to show on this power play unit for the Leafs, once eventually they get a chance, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think it's funny, like early on, it seems like they're just kind of feeling each other out a little bit, right? And, the Leafs give up an early mistake, unfortunately, from, what was Ryan Reeves, right? But not a lot of physicality outside of right before the puck drop. And I know we're going to see that as the series kind of continues here.
Oh, big save where that went wide.
What a chance wide as Charlie Coyle rips it wide. Good opportunity. Also, I think we're like bang on with like our games here. We're like bang on, it looks like. But also, yeah, really good start for Beecher, who I think is probably a fourth liner for the Bruins, if I'm not mistaken.
Fourth liner, yeah.
Work me as a
good kill. Good kill. You want to get some momentum, you got to do that.
It's a great kill. Great kill early on, and now you got to force it the other way, right? Jake's saying he's Avalanche, Panthers in both the brackets in the finals. Sound off, chat, who we got. Yeah, I want to hear what everybody's predictions they got. I have one massive upset. You want to hear it?
Oh, I have an upset too.
So I got the Capitals in 7.
Oh
yeah. Look,
here's why that can happen. If Charlie Lindgren goes on a run as the starter, then yeah, the Capitals definitely can build off that.
I've got the Capitals in 7 because it makes no sense, right? Like that's what happened last year, and I'm just saying, screw it. Like it makes no sense. Everything about that series screams Rangers in like 4 or 5, right?
Yeah, I actually have Rangers sleeping.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So and that could happen. But you know what? That could totally happen, and I wouldn't be surprised by that. So it's like, I'm like, it doesn't make sense why the Capitals should win this series, but I just feel like they will. Like, anyway, it makes no sense.
My upset is Nashville over Vancouver.
Nashville over Vancouver.
Yeah. I as much as I like Vancouver took a massive step forward this season, the Preds to me have a little bit more sort of like veteran presence, like bringing Ryan O'Reilly in. I think that was huge. They were out of a playoff spot and now they pushed their way in, similar to that St. Louis Blue year, right?
I've got Preds winning that too.
I don't know if they're going to win the cup, but I think they could do enough damage to at least win a series and upset.
I don't trust Vancouver. Yeah.
I hate to say this, but I think they are one of the frauds in the playoffs.
By the way, Connor's a massive Canucks fan.
No comment, Peter. I'm sorry, Connor. I'm sorry. And even it's a good thing Dylan isn't here either, because I probably would have heard it from him.
That's okay. He'll be here Friday. He'll be doing game 3 Friday. Preds Canucks. And but it was funny. I was talking about it with him, and I was like, man, I don't trust like that team in general. Like
Samsonov needed to make that save on Coyle. Sorry about that. They just showed a highlight of that save on Coyle.
Commercial break here.
Yeah.
While we're in commercial, I mean, like I like the Canucks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on it, but I think they've been a very 500 team the last little bit, and the schedule shows it too, right? And it's unfortunate that Lindholm hasn't been able to pick up the load a little bit, right? Like, and you look at, like, I have no doubt that Quinn Hughes will make a massive impact in that series. I have no doubt that Elias Pettersson will make a massive impact. And I imagine Thatcher Demko coming back probably healthy in that series. I imagine like he'll probably be okay for that too, right? And I think he can probably steal some games for the Canucks, right? That's not my worry. My worry is with the rest of the team, right? And JT Miller and Brock Besser and, on defense especially, I worry about that defense a lot, right? Like, you're about to pay, Hornick's going to get paid apparently $8 million this offseason for the next 8 years, whatever it might look like. You got Tyler Miles still back there. You got Nikita Zadorov back there. Who knows how much of an impact he's going to be. And it feels like the Nashville Predators could expose that a little bit. So maybe I'm wrong. Fair enough. I do have the series going to 7 games. I don't have a lot of them going to 7 games, except for like 1 or 3 of the series that I have in my bracket. But I don't know. It feels like, especially when and tell me if I'm wrong, but like for a lot of the Canadian markets, when they go to game 7 in their own barn, isn't it just a little bit more pressure on those teams to win?
Yes and no. Yes and no. It depends on. It's very tough. It depends on like what circumstance you're in. Like, are you did you just claw your way back from like down a series?
Sure.
Or is it still neck and neck and you're going to ride heavy on that crowd no matter what? Really, really difficult to say, especially for a Canadian market. But you know what? We got 4 in here right now. So we'll see how that fares out. But then again, Toronto's going to be on the road. So,
right. Again, this goddamn. Sorry, I didn't mean to click that way. To be fair, that was more than expected when Demko got injured. Up until that point, they were definitely more than 500. Oh yeah, they were, and they had a strong.
They're going to rely heavily on him. If problem that's the case,
they light the candle too early with this Canucks team. That's my issue. So I'll leave it at that. Again, you'll hear more Canucks Preds Friday when Dylan does Game 3 for Predators and Canucks. And I'll let everybody know, too, what the schedule looks like for the next couple of days because we have it pretty much set. Especially this Leafs game. We might be doing Monday's Game 2. Not sure yet. We're definitely doing Game 3 coming up on Wednesday. So, and again, tomorrow we got 2 games going on. We got Jimmy doing the Rangers Capitals at 3 o'clock, and myself and Neil will be live at 7 Eastern for the Avalanche and the Winnipeg Jets for Game 1. Anyway, let's get back to the game here. Good call, Mark Giordano not playing in this lineup tonight.
See, that was a big question mark where you're going to play either Gio or Brody. Gio, I think.
Actually, I don't think Brody's playing tonight.
He isn't. No. I think with Giordano, I think he's just at the point of his career where it's just at an end. I think like there are points where you can't keep up, other points where you can't, and it's really costed him big time. For Brody, I think that play in overtime against Detroit, where he just shot the puck to the boards, didn't even do anything, didn't do anything, but he shot the puck to the boards, goes to Patrick Kane, and it goes to Larkin for the game winner. Yeah. I think that sealed his fate because he's made too many bad decisions as well.
So let me get this. Oh my God, what a hit on!
Yeah, I just saw that.
Jeez Louise.
So they were supposed to bring him in to be heavy and physical. He's getting out muscled and now hit big time.
Right. And it's unfortunate because as a Flames fan, I love TJ Brody, man. And I love Giordano. Yeah. And I know they've had really good careers when they were at least with us. So it's unfortunate not seeing them play in the playoffs. So it's sad to see. MC checking in. It was John Beecher who scored the first goal. He's a 4th liner for the Bruins on a 2-on-1 from Adam Boquist. Adam Boquist, I think is his name. I get all the Boquist names mixed up. I think it was Adam. I know he's a defenseman, but anyway. So the Leafs defense tonight is Riley Lyubushkin. Oh, Jesper Boquist. Oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you. Adam's in Columbus, and now I'm going to get ripped apart for that. Thank you. I got it. There's too many, all right?
Thank you. All right, we get it.
Yeah. Okay, so you got Lyubushkin with Riley. You got McCabe and Benoit, which, to your point, I think you mentioned before, that's been a great defensive pairing. And then Edmondson is with, oh, what a hit again. Jeez Louise. Who's Edmondson playing with?
Liljegren.
Liljegren, thank you. So I like that defensive unit for the Leafs.
Good shot for Ryan Reeves there.
Great chance Reeves on the fourth line here. Jared has the Bruins in Dallas in the finals. Dallas wins it, and I'm glad we brought in Andrew Peeke. And Patrick Maroon was such a great guy to bring in, man. And I hope he does well in these playoffs for sure.
Nice quick wraparound from Matthews there.
Good chance there, as he's going to get into it a little bit as well.
But that's what you want to see. You want to see that fire from Matthews.
Totally.
You just don't want him to back away. You want him to get involved too and mix it up himself.
Be in front. I guess there is only 2 Boquist in the league. Yeah, that's a good point. Listen, I've been on my game since the second we started.
See, here's the thing. I think Lauko should have got an extra. Lauko should have got a penalty for that because he punched Liljegren while he was on the bench.
Yeah, I believe so.
That should have been a penalty. Right. I don't know why they let that one slide, but
there was so. Well, you say that, but early on in the Islanders Hurricanes game, it was like the first period. Andreas Lee, I don't know who he was tied up with, but one of the Hurricanes guys like completely flopped, and they called Lee for the penalty. Right. So I'm really.
Oh, was that slash? That was. Because I thought I saw something. It kind of looked like a phantom slash, but
maybe, maybe it was like really they were tied up for whatever reason. But anyway, regardless, I'm very curious to see what the refs are going to be like here in this first round. What are they going to let go? What are they not going to let go? Are they going to let these guys play? You never know with these guys, right?
To me, it's typical NHL officiating. You never know what you're going to get.
Do you see the commercials here where they're doing the friggin'
the Inside Out?
They're doing
the Inside Out too, yeah.
They're promoting Inside Out.
All the emotions for playoffs, though.
Bro, they had Mitch Marner as anxiety.
Ooh.
That's such a call out. That's ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
That is a call out.
In from Facebook. Game is live right now. Bruins lead 1-0 here in this one. That's so funny. I don't know why.
Yeah.
What a way to call out Marner for that.
I mean, yeah.
Makes sense, right? I'm curious to see. Like, I want to know how this guy's. I really want to know how he's feeling going into this series. I want to know because all eyes are on Marner, like for this series.
I think it's just all eyes on the core. Like obviously Marner is part of the core, but all eyes are on all of them because there's all that money committed to them. The cap's going up, great, but there's got to be a point where if this year or whenever there's got to be a point where you can't run it back.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to make a change, whether you like it or not. So there's got to be that common ground where it's like we got to do something because what we're putting on ice isn't winning.
Right. I mean, look, in this series especially, I like the Leafs at home. I don't know why. And I know it's Boston. I know they've had their number all year long, but playoffs are a different animal. And we know that it's going to be a different taste, right? But
yeah,
for whatever reason, like, I don't know who tapped. Did you see that? Who tapped Marchand there? And he's like, who is that?
But those are okay. That may not seem like much. But those are the little get inside your head kind of things that you want to do.
Here's the thing. Okay.
You want to try and bait him, right?
Well, here's the thing, though. Do you? Why do you have to? He wants the attention, right?
I get it, but there's got to be a point, too, where if he crosses that line, he's in the NHL's doghouse for, suspensions and everything.
Then let the refs
they made it. Exactly.
Yeah.
They may just let it slide and maybe be like, yeah, whatever. Unless it's something completely stupid and idiotic, then they may have a say.
So, and to counter that, especially at the beginning of the game, we saw it with Domi and Marchand right before the puck drop. It's like, why do you need to give Brad Marchand that
satisfaction kind of thing?
The satisfaction. I don't understand it, right? The way to beat Brad Marchand realistically is don't give him the attention. Don't even look at the guy. Why do you need to feed him all this, right? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? So, and on Boston's side of it, you want to keep Marchand doing that, right? To try to see if it might flip a switch there for Toronto, and they might try to do something stupid, right? Because that's all they're trying to do, right? They're trying to get them to flip some sort of switch and get them in the box more often. So
the thing is, ever since that slew foot Marchand did on Liljegren, and ever since Reese came out with that comment, did the whole team meeting and everything like that, he is basically enemy number one at that point.
Sure.
But at least someone like Domi and Burt, they're more skilled that they can match up against him more than Reese. Obviously, Reese can, take him down if he wanted to, but he's on the fourth line. Marchand's top six.
Right.
You're not going to get that matchup. So you're going to try and match that as best as possible. That was a nifty little move from Riley there.
Yeah, good move there from Morgan Riley.
To try and calm the storm a little bit, but now it's got to point the other way.
I forgot to ask this at the beginning. And I like it on the Leafs side of things where they split up all three, Mitch Marner, Matthews, and Nylander. Do you like that you find Nylander on the third line, you got Marner on the second, and I think you have Matthews on the first? I think that's the way they rolled it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. You want to spread that out. You don't want to make this team too predictable, as is with Marner with Matthews. I think that having Domi as a playmaker there is great.
Right.
Again, would you still like to have a little bit more offense? Absolutely. Marner has that advantage, but, splitting up that top line as they've been effective since Marner's injury, you really can't mess with success, right? So
totally.
Get that balance going. Honestly, it has, aside from that one gaffe from the fourth line, Toronto's kind of held their own aside from the physical battle because there were two big hits, but Toronto, I don't want to say Toronto's been the better team, but maybe in the first 10 minutes or so, it was Toronto. Now Boston's fighting their way back at this point. So
Toronto was
that
the better
team.
Win
the possession game, but you got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, they were the better team maybe 5 minutes into the game. Bruins go down and score, and I think it's been pretty neutral. Maybe I would give the edge a little bit more to Boston, but
yeah,
no, I get it.
That one rings off the crossbar.
Another one getting by Ilya Samsonov, so they're finding ways by.
But now they're getting traffic in front now, so you're going to have to try and do your best to box everyone out and tie them up as best as possible, because that's going to be another issue. If there's a rebound opportunity, Samsonov's left alone.
And we saw it when he was kind of left alone there on that 2-on-1. Look what transpired, right?
Yeah.
Jared, who's at the game again, he says there's been lots of hits already in the game. Have you kind of found that too? There's been kind of kind of physicality, yeah.
Both sides.
I think so.
Both sides.
Yeah, both sides. Yeah, you're not surprised, right? Connor mentioning too, it's two times they've hit the post there. So they're finding ways so 3 times technically already they found ways by Samsonov, and one of them has gone in the net, right? Connor's saying again, he's accurate in saying this, that Boston wanted the matchup, but Toronto didn't. I don't think it would have mattered for Toronto.
You're facing a team that's kind of had your number. Florida last season, and in that final game, Boston all season, and the history as well. It really didn't matter who the opponent was. Toronto was going to be in tough.
If anything, Florida got kind of you win the division, but man, you're going to get a dog in the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I think they got the matchup maybe they wanted, because that rivalry started to heat up as well.
I have the Lightning in the final in my bracket.
Ooh.
I do. I don't know why.
I don't like that.
I know you don't. Hear me out. If they can find a way to beat Florida, who says they can't go beat whoever it is in this series and then whoever's on the other side?
Yeah.
That's the standard.
That's fair. Yeah. And especially
I think the standard.
I was just about to say the way that even Vasilevsky has bounced back, because there was that point where when he came back halfway point through the season, is this team even going to make it? And then they just squeaked in.
Also, I want to point out, because I love this new scoreboard. I'm so happy we found it.
Oh, yeah.
It's much amazing. Better. It's amazing.
Look at the shots laying a big hit right now.
As we're back here live, it's amazing the shots on goal where they're coming from, right? You can see here the Leafs, all of them in front of the net. Bruins really around the perimeter, right?
Perimeter, yeah.
They haven't really gotten anything done in front of the net.
The one inside the hash marks on that 2-on-1, but
Good save right at the chest of Samsonov from Brad Marchand as we have 5:02 left in the first period. Shots 6-5 for the Leafs, but the Bruins lead it 1-0 in this one. Let's see what else we got here. As I know it's a bold take. I know it is. Who do you have in the final? Who do you have in the? Who do you have East-West in the final?
Carolina, Edmonton.
Okay.
Repeat of 2006. Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I like that.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Actually, it's kind of funny because I think 3 people I know have the exact same matchup. Edmonton, Carolina taking it.
Right. So
that'll be fun.
I have Tampa, Dallas. And to counter Connor's point here, I totally agree. They're not the same team from 3 to 4 years ago. I got you.
Yeah.
Like everything about it, like I'm never going to argue that.
But my thing is still deliver.
Well, that and also too, this is going to be one last like FU to the league from Tampa, right? To everybody else saying, nah, screw this. We're still that team, right?
And here we go. This is the fireworks we wanted. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's all good. Thank you for interrupting. As is that Marchand in the net? It looks like it. No, it's not. There's a little bit of a scuffle in front.
Dewar took down. Is that Peak?
I think it was Peak. Yeah, I think Peak's in the net. There's a lot of scrimmage happening in front of the net.
Dewar showing some feistiness right there.
Oh, it was the snow to the face of it looked like Jake McCabe, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's Dewar.
Yeah.
At the same time, both of them were slowing down too, so I think it was both Peak and Dewar.
Barely noticed at first. Love the new layout. Thank you. I took some time yesterday to try to make a new layout because the other one I didn't like as much because it took out like another chunk of the screen. So this is just like it just fits a little bit more.
Yeah.
So everything new for playoff time.
And I think you were even like fixing this when it was me, you, and Neil for New Jersey. That both of it, like you like we just saw the change up. We're like, man, Yahoo's coming up clutch.
I know, like there's still flash score, but this is so clean. It's so nice. As
extracurricular is still happening.
Man, I want to see Matthews just start getting pissed off.
And that's the problem. Bertuzzi took a penalty.
And Bertuzzi goes to the box. So I want to see the replay on it to see what happens. So Tyler Bertuzzi goes to the box. Bruins fans are really giving it to him.
Oh, the high stick on Lindholm there. Okay, yeah, that was...
Yeah. They're going to call that all day long, and then he slashes him.
You got to keep your stick down in that. Like, when you're going through traffic like that, you got to keep your stick down until you get to the front of the net. That's how I didn't play competitive hockey. I didn't play the AAA level or whatever, but my stick was always down until it got to, exactly.
Well, I don't know if you can see it, but minor hockey.
That's exactly.
Anyway,
always keep your stick down kind of thing. Because of instances like that, you don't know what's going to happen. And was that a Pasternak one-timer?
It was, yeah. It was, well, that's the thing. That's one of the things you learn as a kid, too. You got to keep your stick down, right? But also, that's another classic case of you're just giving Boston more of these chances, right?
And Toronto hasn't even drawn one penalty right now.
Yeah, totally.
So you're already down, advantage is 0-2 Boston right now. You got to work to try and get something yourself at this point.
Who do you like on the sorry, I was just going to ask, who do you like, if you were the coach here for the Leafs, who's your ideal scenario to have on the penalty kill? Oh, just wide.
Well, Camp and Marner is one. I think at one point, if you need to try and rest Marner a bit, I like Connor Dewar. I think he did show some glimpses of being a factor on the PK, but I think they do rotate him in every now and then.
Right.
So Camp and Marner as maybe your first one, and then Dewar and Yarncroke as your second penalty kill unit.
Sure. Good chance again here. Boston's getting some really good chances here. A lot of good one-timers here. 3:33 to go. A minute left in the power play here. They're feeding past.
Another crossbar.
Pavel Zacha again hits the crossbar. That's the third time they've hit the post.
Third time.
This first period. My goodness.
Oh, they got lucky. They got lucky there.
Back out. And
it was a nervous shift there.
Shattenkirk goes back out to grab it as 35
And
seconds
it looks like
left.
Holmberg, Yarncroke.
Yeah, I think so. You're right.
Connection there. I do like Holmberg in that situation because he has shown that at the pro, like he was able to be a two-way factor in Sweden before he made the jump here, which is good. So he has that experience, and great read by Yarncroke to just blast that down the ice.
Also, apparently you and Jake have the same great minds.
Yeah.
With your PK decisions. That's great to hear. So penalty kill is up. Another good penalty kill though for the Leafs. I mean, that's important. You didn't want to give Boston too many chances early on here in this first period. It's a long way to go, right?
Yep. I will say that. Come on, don't go for that stretch pass.
It's a bad giveaway by Matthews there.
It didn't amount to much, but those are the like turnovers in the neutral zone that you can't afford against this team.
Can't do it. You're totally right. As I think that puck went down for icing. As man, they're showing these replays here in Boston. This could have been like a 2-3-0 lead easily. Like that's the crazy thing.
Will say this about Samsonov. Again, maybe some shaky moments, but he has held his own.
Mm-hmm.
I would like it to be a little bit more composed, but
I imagine he's gonna get like the majority of the starts, right? Mm-hmm. It's a great save, rebound in front, scramble in front of the net. Samsonov still has.
Can they blow the whistle?
Oh my goodness!
How that was a good 10 seconds of. I don't know how they saw that. But
still didn't blow the whistle.
No way any of those officials saw that.
Looking at the puck, he clearly saw it the whole time. As what a great save there by Ilya Samsonov.
Great. See, that's the tie-up that you want to see players like Liljegren constantly like that. Don't take a penalty. Don't do anything. Just take him and knock him out.
What a great save as the ref.
That second one, if his leg wasn't there, he did not know that.
It would have. So the ref saw it the whole time because Samsonov had no clue where the puck was, but he kind of knew that it was by his pad.
I was about to say that pad one. I'm like, I thought I initially saw that one, but after that, the body started coming in. That's when you should have just blown the play dead after that. Not necessarily known pad save right there.
But good on the ref because he had eyes on it the entire time, right?
Which is why I said, how did he see that?
Right. So it was good on the linesman there. He had eyes on it the whole time. So good on him for letting it go until you needed to call it, right?
Yeah.
As just under 2 minutes to go now, as the I'm surprised that Pavel Zacha has been a guy too that's been very
I love JT just battling through 3 Bruins right there.
Good. There you go.
And that didn't quite amount to much, but again, that's where you need the support right there. You just can't just go in and not do anything. You got to have puck support right there for a chance. That would have been a perfect opportunity for someone to be wide open.
Exactly. 1:30 to go here in game 1 of this Eastern Conference quarterfinal matchup. Leafs and Bruins. Bruins lead 1-0 in this one. There's no games later tonight, correct?
No, these are the only two
games. Right. Okay. I thought for some reason they would have threw in like Edmonton and LA later on tonight, but
I would have thought that too. Yeah. Like maybe throwing a 10-30 game here.
Correct. And also too, really quick plug here as we're kind of winding down the first period here as we got our guys from Jake and Jackets podcast. If you guys want to check out another one below. Blosser's Game Over is doing some playoff predictions. So if you guys want to go check out that sometime next week, make sure you hit the notifications. As 45 seconds to go here on our end. Also, I'm pretty sure we're synced up beautifully.
We are. I'm at 40 seconds right now.
Beautiful. So am I. Let's go.
There we go.
As
I know that there was one time where I kind of figured the issue. Big hit from Revo right there.
Reeves again.
That's what you want.
Last couple chances.
This is the redemption fourth shift that you want to see right there.
Yeah, and you knew you were going to get that, I think, from him,
right?
Keeping it in. Bertuzzi, 20 seconds.
Oh, Matthews came in out of nowhere.
Jeremy Swayman early on.
I don't think Matthews was not like he did not load up perfectly. He just got a quick shot off.
No, nobody saw Matthews really come in that quick either, right? And he
good eye from Bert though. If he would have had a bit of control there, it bobbled off his skate. Yeah, if he he caught that with his stick and settled it down.
Right.
Ooh, high danger chance right there.
It would have, right? But he still had a good shot on it too, because I think he had it in midair, right? But again, great save by Jeremy Swayman here.
But that's a hand eye for Matthews, though.
Matthews has been brutal on faceoffs until now. He wins that one to Marner. Marner gets it on net. Rebound in front. Matthews with the chance. Stopped by Jeremy Swayman with 10.7 to go.
Here we go.
And here
more
we
extracurriculars.
Go. Yeah, and Matthews kind of stops it all there, and so does everybody else. I imagine Mitch Marner gets into some of those little skirmishes. He doesn't usually come out on top of those ones.
All right, at least we're looking at 4-on-4 to start the next period. They took both and
we got Stefan.
Oh, that point. Okay, yeah. That again. Listen, love Domi, but that punch in the back of the head of McAvoy's head was really unnecessary. But then, at least he kind of drew again. I hate that, but he drew another penalty as a result. Oh, it's both him and McAvoy go.
Both of them go. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think the refs
so that, okay.
Refs are not taking much. Also, Stefan checking in. Hello, Stefan.
How's it going, bud?
So they take both off here. 4-on-4 for about 10 seconds. So we're going to start the second period 4-on-4 here as Montgomery.
I was just about to say, is this a transition to like the 2 straight penalty calls for Toronto now? But
maybe.
2 for Boston, 4-on-4, 2 for Toronto.
Yeah, that's the refs.
See a pattern there.
But I mean, early on, like you can tell, the refs are not taking anything, man. They know it too, right?
Again, what is that cross check?
Right over Jeremy Swayman.
What is that? That was that was a cross check. That should be a penalty right there.
Is it just the end of the period? I think it is.
End of the period, but that was a late cross check on Lindholm there on Marner.
Lindholm cross check on Marner, who fell over on Swayman, who had a great chance in front. Doesn't come to anything, as that is the end of the first period. Bruins lead.
That's what Mitch needs to do right now. I think he needs to be that net front guy. And yeah, that's a cross check in the numbers right there.
Right. But also, yeah.
Oh, he did call it. He did call it. So power play 4-on-3 for the Maple Leafs to start.
So we're going to be 4-on-3 for Toronto after 1. Interesting, as it's the right call. Cross check from behind. Can't do that.
But that's what I want Marner to do a little bit more. Don't be on the perimeter. Be in front of the net. Let Matthews kind of dictate the play a little bit.
From the hash marks.
Be a little bit greedy yourself, too.
Totally. So Stefan asking, who is in net for Boston? You got Jeremy Swayman as, wow, you chugged that. You had to finish that off real quick, didn't you?
Had to make sure it tastes good, man.
I love it. Okay, so it's 1-0 after 1. Early thoughts in the game 1 here. What do you think so far?
By the way, I clarify that I stole that from Tournament of Champions Guy Fieri's thing on Food Network, where it was a matchup, and one of the chefs, Britt Rossino, she chugged like half a beer as well, and then she just said I had to make sure it tastes good, so I had to kind of throw it in there because that was a pretty boss line.
If there's any time to do it, it's tonight.
Now it's playoffs.
Yes.
Thoughts on the period? Good first 3 minutes, but those bad lapses and mistakes are basically what cost Toronto throughout the whole entire regular season. Cannot do that. Cannot cough up those plays because it can hurt you. Kind of like the response at certain moments. Tone it down on the penalties. I could go on and on, but you know what? If they come back flying like they did in that first period or first 2-3 minutes and replicate that, momentum can go on their side. So
yeah, for sure.
That's my thought. But again, you got to be aware of what's going on the ice.
Yeah, so for me, real quick, it's early turnovers that cause issues. You can see the refs weren't really taking much. Bad pinch early on by Reeves. And yeah, you can't be taking some of these stupid penalties and giving Boston these opportunities, right? Because they're just going to put them away, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they hit the post how many times? It could have been easily 4-0 at this point. So, again, early on, lucky to be down 1-0 if you're the Leafs, right?
Very.
Now you're all of a sudden open up the ice a little bit more. You're going to get a 4-on-3 chance, 4-on-3 chance for about 1:50 starting the third period. So with that, let's take a bit of a break here, and we'll come back. Make sure you guys comment some questions, what you got predictions-wise in the playoffs. We'll talk about the rest of the matchups too and everything else when we come back. But let's take our first intermission break here. Bruins lead 1-0 here in game one. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Well, one of us is here. I'll give Peter some time, though, no worries, but I'll leave it up just for the humor aspect of it as we are back here. First intermission of the game one between the Leafs and the Boston Bruins here, and it is 1-0 Boston after one, as the shots have been pretty even so far. Bruins had some chances, hit the post a couple times, and the Leafs will have a chance to start in the second period by being on the 4-on-3 man advantage. So again, just to keep everybody up to date a little bit as to what's happening with the live streams coming up. We get a lot that we're going to be doing for the next week and a half, and we hope that everybody can join for it. So tomorrow, again, we got 2 games going on. We got Capitals and Rangers. That'll be on at 3 o'clock for us. Our boy Jimmy will be on it. Always does really great with those streams, so hope you guys can check it out. And me and Neil will be back for the Jets and the Avalanche tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, as well as Peter's back. And Peter's back. Fashionably late.
That's fashionably late. That's how I roll. Not really. Not really, but
that's all good. So yeah, so kind of mentioned about some of the games that are happening tomorrow for some of our live streams. Monday, probably going to do game 2 between the Bruins and the Leafs. If I'm being honest with you, we'll probably end up doing it unless something else happens, but we'll try to incorporate as much as we can, as we'll make sure we do the Islanders and the Hurricanes. We know we'll do that eventually coming up this week at some point. We got game 3 already in the wraps for Preds and Canucks as well too. some of us East Coast guys can't really do the late games. I don't really want to stay up for a 10:30 Oilers Kings game. Just not going to happen. Right? Unless I feel really ambitious, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so we got one period in the books here in this what's sure to be a great series. What are you looking for from your Leafs coming out here in the second period, being on a 4-on-3 man advantage to begin?
So considering how off the power play has been, movement's got to be quick. You can't be stagnant. You got to be moving. You got to be rotating all over the place. You got to get them moving and get them out of position. Because if you're just going to be very stationary and very predictable with the movements to try and find Matthews on the one-timer, that is not ideal. Again, you want to tee him up. You want him to score, but, it's up to guys like Mitch Marner in this situation. Usually have Nylander as the third forward and Riley Andrew Liljegren as a defenseman. I don't know what's going to happen if you have like Domi on the power play or Yarncroke, but you got to, one, get some traffic in front of the net because Swayman's seeing everything, but also crash the net as well whenever you get that opportunity. So they got to be very aggressive, but very quick.
Totally. Yeah. And they got to be quick, especially out of the gate, right? You want to you want to get an answer. That's how you do it, right? On the other side of it for Boston, I thought they've had a really good start to this game so far in terms of bringing up the intensity, bringing up the pressure, good chances early on the power play. Whatever's been working there, you got to continue to work it as well. Also, quick shout out to the PWHL as they played a game at the Bell Center, it looks like, here in Montreal between Toronto, PWHL Toronto and Montreal, and they packed that building again. I know the New York team. Go ahead.
Very reminiscent of that Toronto game as well, but I think it was Toronto Montreal as well.
As Toronto won it in overtime in that one. They're playing in New Jersey as well too at the Rock, New York, and I don't know who's playing them in that one there, but I'm sure it's pretty well sold out. So quick shout out to them too. As Jake will do his best to make some time for any that he can. That'd be great, as Jake always does some good live watch-alongs as well. And yes, it's Jeremy Swayman in that, as I'm getting the hiccups all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Also, I just want to give a quick big shout-out to Dalton Varsho. We just hit a 3-run home run right now. So he's starting to heat up, and the Jays are starting to, not be disappointments anymore.
Man, that Rockies game last week was awful.
Oh, you were at that game?
I turned it on because
I thought you were at that game. That's why.
No, I got home late and I just decided I wanted to throw it on just to see what was happening, and I was like, what the hell? I want to go though this year because for everybody who both knows, I'm like an hour from Toronto. You're like, how far are you from Rogers Center? Like
pretty close.
Pretty close, yeah.
I'm fairly close, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I mean like outside of the city, but it's always a quick transit ride in.
It's also the funny memes where I know people have probably seen it on TikTok too, where like, oh, you have to go to this spot in Toronto. Meanwhile, it's like 2 hours away.
Yeah, not even close. When you talk about Toronto, it is downtown Toronto.
Right.
Yeah.
It's called TPC Toronto. Yeah, that's like an hour and a half away from Toronto. You're not even close to where
it is. Like you got to take like a GO Transit in and then go TTC.
So stupid. Anyway, I want to go to a Jays game this year because I've heard that the renovations there are better.
Very nice.
Yes. Yeah.
It is.
So I'll try to get to one.
Honestly, like for all the talk of like the non-roster decisions and improvements to the park, which is great. It is a nice venue now. It is a nice venue. It is very reminiscent of that of Yankee Stadium, but with a retractable dome.
If you need a guy to go to the Jays game, let me know. I'll hop on the GO train and pray.
I would love to meet you up in person, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah, why not?
It's convenient because we're close. We'll bring let's bring Andrew out too as well, and we'll get the whole gang together and we'll just get Andrew at a Jays game.
Little THPN meetup.
That'd be good. I'm game for that. Let's see what's going on here in the chats here. Again, Jared at the game tonight. Interesting game so far. That Peak and Maroon hit was awesome. Those really good hits. It's been very physical early on.
So Boston set the tone early on physically. I mean, Toronto had their moments, but those late hits by the fourth line to close out that first period really, I think, may have not necessarily sent a message, but be like, hey, we got heavy hitters too.
Mini Domi playing shit. Oh my god. I love it.
You know what? I mean, literally like literally like a few weeks ago when he got into not back-to-back fights, but whenever there was a fight and Ty was there and there was a cutaway shot of him where he was just like, maybe, I don't know, not impressed, but like, he's on his phone or whatever. It's just like, yeah, whatever. It is.
Who cares?
Who cares? That's my kid out there kind of thing.
That's awesome. Jake is, I think Jake is heading out, but appreciate you coming on, man. And hopefully we can get him on for some live games this playoffs.
Take it easy, buddy.
So take it easy. First intermission right now, though, still. Would love to hear everybody else's playoff predictions. I'd love to hear some upsets, any finals. Do you have a major? Was the Predators one that you gave like your major upset in your bracket, or what do you have?
That was my major upset. Yeah, everything else. So like games like Dallas and Vegas, that could be very, very close. I still think Vegas has that edge. I mean, not necessarily speaking from a fantasy hockey wise, but Ottinger for me was kind of hit and miss down the stretch. Like he would have good games, come out with a win, but maybe allow like 4 or 5 goals. Still kind of like maybe not at his best. That to me is a series that could go either way. I mean, I know I picked Vegas to go on to the next round, but that might be it. I don't want to. Not getting into Vegas. Not getting into.
That's okay.
Not getting into that. That's a different story for another day. Because I saw the news today about Mark Stone and everyone was just piling on. It was whatever.
Not surprised.
But also, that was the biggest upset. Everything else is kind of like. I mean, I've seen a lot of Toronto over Boston. I still think Boston may have that edge, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest one is probably Washington, but that's like a long shot. I don't know. Like, I think it's tough because you look out west and there's like 7 teams you can maybe 8 of them. Who knows that you can make a really good argument for, right? Maybe the Kings make an upset, as actually Kevin mentioned there too. Like, yeah, you could say the Kings could be an upset. You can make a case for a lot of teams here that anybody can go on a run at any given time. But also Jared was asking too, it's Matthews that you have on?
It is a Matthews jersey. Yeah. I do have a Kessel jersey, like an old Reebok Kessel one. But this one is, Matthews Adidas.
Full blown. Jared's got Vegas losing in the second round. So they beat Dallas and then lose to either the Jets or the Avalanche. I could see that.
Yeah.
I can see it.
See, I can't remember what my bracket is. I think I have Vegas, Edmonton, but Edmonton getting revenge from previously.
Vegas is in the Central. They're in that. They're going through that because they're playing Dallas.
Yeah. But like that meetup for the conference final. For the conference finals. Yeah. That is my kind of like revenge, which is why I put not Vegas, Edmonton in that final.
I can see that. I think a lot of people, and from what I've seen, is that they don't have Vancouver going far.
Yeah. If they do, it won't go as far as the second round.
Yeah, like in terms of like a consensus from what I've kind of seen, I've seen Vancouver not go far from a lot of teams. I've seen a lot of people pick Vegas in the first round. And I imagine if you're Dallas, like that's not a favorable matchup to have. Yeah. And then the other one I saw that was interesting was that Florida wasn't going to get out of the first round either. A lot of people actually had Tampa winning that, including myself, had them winning that first round. Right. So
the Corgi, I think, picked Tampa.
Man, the Corgi. Listen, the Corgi is always right.
The almighty Corgi is what we call
He's always right.
Yeah.
I love like some of the ones where he like hits it. Like some of them like do little bounces here and there.
Bounces off walls.
Right. Yeah. When they did I think when they did what was it? The Leafs and the Bruins one, right? The Corgi he literally hit it and it went right into the Leafs bucket.
Like, I think it bounced off a step, but then went into Toronto.
Right.
Yeah.
The other ones you see them like go boing, boing, boing. They go into whatever. Whoever's dog that is, like, I salute him. That's
celebrity.
Amazing.
Instant celebrity.
But yeah, so how much do you give the Kings a chance in that series against Edmonton?
What is this? The third time they played Edmonton?
Possibly. They met last year in the first round. And Edmonton won in 6.
Edmonton was just completely dominant.
Correct. We're also getting back.
I
by
think
the
I've
way.
seen maybe some brackets have like LA beating Edmonton, but I
Sure.
think that when you have McDavid and Draisaitl firing on all cylinders, and when Stuart Skinner is on top of his game, I still have questions about that defense. But
Right.
they got the forwards and they got the goaltender. They could probably take them
I'll
far.
give him a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll go, but I like Edmonton a little bit in that one. So
Yeah.
let's get back to the game here. Puck is about to drop here in the second period. Lindholm is in the box for cross-checking. So it is 4-on-3. What a way to start the second period here.
Yeah. Tavares, Marner, Matthews, Riley. So yeah, you got your big boys out.
You got it.
That was the time to try and get something.
It is not the end of the first anymore. Puck just dropped here for the second period here as Yahoo's a little behind us here. Leafs have a 4-on-3 advantage, and I imagine Matthews is out there. Okay, good. I'm like, why is he not out there?
That would be a big mistake if he wasn't.
Totally. Tipped in front. What a chance. Goes wide.
Good deflection.
Puck goes down quick, and you got to imagine that this line has to be quick here. You already got a minute 20 seconds left here,
and this is where I hate the drop pass in a 4-on-3 in playoffs. Like, stop doing that and just attack with force.
This is going to be the matchup, though, in this series.
Yeah.
It's the 7th best power play in the league in the Leafs, the
special teams,
7th best penalty kill in the Bruins. It's going to be this matchup. I think that's going to really dictate it. Matthews circling around. Riley finds Matthews back at the point, looking across to Marner. Marner's going to get a look. He still can't fire it on net here, right in front of the hash marks. Still getting a chance. Shot fired.
I saw a stick hit the net, and I thought that was the puck.
Swayman has it in front of the net. It was John Tavares trying to fire it home. And with 42 seconds left on the 4-on-3, it is
good decision, but I would have liked a little bit more quicker movement there. Right. Again, if I'm Mitch, I'm not doing those quick 10, 2 o'clock or like pivots or whatever, or movements. Like, start skating around, get him moving.
That's the thing, right? He was pretty still, right?
Yeah.
And that whoever was, I couldn't see who was defending there for Marner, but it's like they weren't allowing him to move, right? So
trying to be deceptive, but
correct.
It's not going to work in that instance.
So they're really keeping this line up here.
Instance and scenario, and that was going to come out very awkwardly.
That wasn't going to work. Right over to Matthews. Matthews from the point. Shot goes high and wide. Tavares picks it up here. 37 seconds left on the 4-on-3. Back to Marner. Marner at the top of the circle, trying to find Matthews again. Shot on net. Stop by Swayman. Grizzly gets it.
Good play.
Back to the point. Matthews finds Marner. Marner back over to Matthews in the circle. In front to Tavares. Stopped by Swayman. Puck battling behind the net. Charlie Coyle picks it up, and he is going to break it out here as this 4-on-3 looks like it's going to come to an end. Coyle really bringing this puck all the way in here. Matthews
quickly
counter quickly the other way. 3-on-2. It's going to be a quick and loses it already here in the neutral zone. Yeah. I wish Neil was here to do this. He's so much better than this than I am.
That was a huge kill. That was a kill that I did not want to happen, but
great kill. Good chances, though. You got to give him credit. Don't you guys notice that the Hurricanes are always in the Eastern Final? Yeah, and it's going to get a chance here. Yarncroke. Later in front. What a save again by Swayman. What a chance. Early on by Yarncroke. It's been all Leafs here early on.
This is what they needed to do to jumpstart the second period. Followed that power play up with a good shift right there. But you know what? You got to get Swayman moving because this guy has been prone to letting in bad goals, letting in, ones that should have been saved. And yeah, there is no way that was probably getting through. He came out and attacked very aggressively there.
Good save.
Someone was a little bit quicker on that rebound. That would have been easy tap and goal.
And Donnell, yes, I think I have noticed that Carolina's been in the final one.
They're good. They deserve it.
Maybe second intermission. Let's bookmark this conversation with the Coyotes. Maybe we'll talk more about that coming up in the second intermission. So let's bookmark that one. We'll come back to it a little bit later. Let's get back to the game here, though. Battle across the boards here. I'm so curious what happens with Jake DeBrusk this offseason. He's going to go. I can't imagine him staying. But anyway, that's here nor there. It's playoff time. We don't care about that. I hate when reporters and commentators already start talking about guys, and it's like, well, I don't know if he's going to come back this offseason. And I'm like, guys, it's game 1 of the playoffs. What are we talking about here? Talk about now.
He's been a real pest as well as a Bruin. Like, you really can't not necessarily afford to lose him, but he's been, despite having some like contract issues and everything like that, he's been very, very.
He's down on his butt here.
I was about to say that could have been goalie interference, and again, why are you?
Could have been.
There we go. Come on, let's go.
No shot on goal there as they go back the other way. They're going to show that again, but Samsonov was just sitting on his butt waiting for a shot for whatever
reason.
Either
he lost an edge or what, but
yeah, I don't know what that was.
Bruins bring it right back in. Looking very shaky because even Pasta was like right in front for an easy tap in.
Totally. Wish I went to see a Coyotes game. I got an old Shane. Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Nice can't go wrong with Shane Doan.
As a local fan that watched New York area hockey, the Rangers, Islanders, Devils, the Devils was about to move to Nashville after they won the Cup in '95. And also the Islanders, can you imagine if they go to Kansas, like if a team ends up in Kansas City? That's a tough market.
Very.
For a hockey market there. I don't know.
Especially to compete with like football and baseball and everything like that.
You got to compete with Kansas City Chiefs, man. Like, and that's going to be from September to friggin' what?
Also,
February?
If it's Kansas City, Missouri, Matthews.
Good chance here.
Matthews. My God! Are you kidding me?
What?
He had him beat.
Matthews right off the post. Swayman came really far out of his net. Matthews picked it up at the side and goes
that
right.
That is literally his luck the last 2 games.
Right off. He had the entire net wide open. Swayman wasn't even close to the crease. And Matthews rings it right off the post.
Had everyone beat.
Wow. Unbelievable. The fact that he did not put that away as it was a glitch in the Matrix. I agree.
Definitely.
Wow. How does he not put that away? Unbelievable. Shots this period already 5-0.
As much as I want to say good pressure, good everything, that had to go in. That had to go in. That was literally the instance where it was an empty net on Samsonov and they didn't capitalize.
I don't think I can explain clearly enough that net, nobody was tending the net. There was nobody there. Swayman was very far out. Matthews had literally every inch of that net. And
I think if he took an extra second,
correct,
it would have been different.
DeBrusk behind the net, fires it in front.
God. Yep, told you.
It's Brendan Carlo, it looks like, from the point, and the Bruins lead 2-0, and that already hurts the Leafs here in game 1. That was not Brendan Carlo. Oh, God. That was awful.
25 guys, Brendan Carlo.
Oh, it is? Oh,
yeah.
Nailed it. Sorry, I don't mean to spit on your pity here, but Matthews, they show it again. Right off the oh my goodness gracious. How does he not put that in? Right behind the net, too. They're just showing it again here. DeBrusk battling behind, picks it up, easily finds. It wasn't even that hard of a shot. And I don't think Samsonov saw it at all. I think Holmberg, 29.
Again, that's the problem. If you're going to block a shot, block it.
Block it. Don't screen your goalie, block it. Mm-hmm.
That is why.
Tough way to start.
That is why I get really perturbed about stuff like that. Like, don't back away at the last minute because then you screen your goalie and that goalie is like trying to find that puck at the last second.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
you have to step up, right?
It looked like Samsonov was like trying to get around Holmberg, but block it to like help him out as well.
I just want to finish up here, Danelle. Glad these Devils of the Islanders didn't move. Yeah, it's nice that they stayed, so I'll give you that. But also Connor here, it's a really good point here from Connor. Just clinical is such a good term, I think, for the way that it's gone here so far for Boston, right? And you can't trust Matthews to finish off opportunities, man. I mean, that's just unlucky. I don't know. There's so much of it where just like
I love this response, but come on, take advantage.
Right. there's so much to it where, like, and we say it all the time every year in the playoffs, like, luck becomes such a big part of every series, right?
And
To
that
me, that's just
Matthews
unlucky.
post was bad luck.
To me, that's just unlucky, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's just pure unlucky. As Kevin also mentions that he's still stuck on 69 goals. Nice. Nice. I'm sure those memes went crazy when the season ended and he was stuck on 69 goals.
Oh, yeah.
But still, that can't be discounted by an unbelievable year that he's had.
I think it was Nick Alberga who got a Drew House jersey with Poppy and 69 on the back.
I mean, those jerseys are going to sell like crazy.
Oh, you can tell people are going to get stuff customized for that.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, my God.
So, commercial break here as it's Brendan Carlo. The scary part is that you're getting goals from John Beecher and Brendan Carlo.
Your depth. You're getting guys outside of your top guys.
Right. That's the scary thing, right? So,
and something that was also concerning me with the Leafs, can that depth scoring get another surge in the playoffs right now? That is
totally
not happening right now. Like, again, good response from the fourth shift right there, or fourth line, but no capitalization. Like, it didn't amount to much. Like, you had pressure, you crashed the net. I mean, and again, we're still looking at this map. Look at everything for the Leafs. They're doing everything they can to get in tight.
Yeah.
It's just
totally.
Swayman's on another level right now. But then again, if it's Swayman against any other team, those pucks are going in.
Totally. Jared says he doesn't think Jake DeBrusk stays with the Bruins. Do you agree or disagree?
It kind of ends up at 60-40 that he leaves. I feel like there's still that chance that he could stay. But given how things have been kind of rocky here and there, where there has been moments where, like, okay, it's kind of subsided, but then it comes back up. You don't know what's going to happen. I think there's still a possibility. I believe he's a UFA. I think maybe he may test the market.
Right.
Because I don't know what his current contract is. I'll probably have to look it up, but
I think he'll find a way to get a good deal this offseason, like a prove kind of deal, right?
And especially if, like, Boston is in that, try to take less so you can win. Hopefully that works out, because he's at $4 million.
You would hope. Yeah, totally. You would hope.
Because I'm not sure if anything more would be an overpay, but like $5 million for a guy that's cracked 50 once, 27 goals once, but 2-time 20-goal scorer.
You never know.
You never know.
And also, too, I was going to mention here, Ashley, I was going to bring this up because Kevin mentioned it too, was that it does kind of depend how this playoff goes, right?
Yeah.
If DeBrusk shows up, with and true, the salary cap does open up a little bit.
It is opening up.
Maybe the Bruins find a way to keep him. I don't know, right?
Or and seeing Jared as well. Allmark is probably leaving too, so you're probably looking at Swayman overtaking starter role.
For sure, because he wants him to re-sign. So, like, if there might be a market for DeBrusk, I don't know. His agent might have to go over it with him, but if there's no reason to leave Boston, depending how these playoffs go, there's no reason. But I think this is a conversation you probably have once this is all kind of said and done, right?
Yeah.
Also, I want to bring to our attention real quick the shots on goal on our screen. Like, look at where the shots are coming from for the Leafs.
Yeah, they're doing everything right.
It's true. They show the 1X probably on the very side where Matthews hit the post.
Oh, God.
That's
can
terrible.
That just, like, be wiped from history? I think that's the one that's, like, at the circle, right?
You remember, though, when we did Leafs Devils last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember, like, the goals that went in and where they were coming from? And we were looking at it on here. Like,
hash
they were
marks
all
out.
coming hash marks and out. And it's almost the same thing here, where it was right on the hash marks. And then the second goal here was clearly in the hash marks. And
hash marks, right? And then up high on the hash marks from the circle, top of the circle.
Right, exactly. So it's clearly showing here again, right?
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's the recipe, man.
One of them is a low percentage shot. That top circle one is low percentage. There's probably no way that should get in. But if, again, you're having a player that's going to block but not block, kind of bit of a problem.
Right.
But that 2-on-1 right there, I had a bad feeling right from the start.
You bet. No, I agree. I'm curious. I want to go down here a little bit here. They show like the last 10 plays. I haven't really looked at, to be honest, this Yahoo scoreboard. Low scoring summary. Yeah, that's kind of nice. I like the ice. I'm just gonna keep it that way.
Why not?
I like the ice. It's nice. See how that rhymed?
I did.
Thank you.
I did.
11 minutes to go here in the second period. 2-0 Boston. Leafs out shooting them though, 20-13 here. Is that concerning though? When I mentioned the goals where they're coming from, hash marks and out, like I feel like ever since I noticed that, right, and then brought it up to you and Neil, like especially when they played the Panthers and the Lightning, like that just seems like where these goals are coming from. Like either he's getting blocked in front, he can't see the puck, or he's just flat out missing these.
Yeah. And even the same thing was with Joseph Wall as well, where he wasn't tracking the puck well, and it was coming from far out. Not a whole lot of like high danger chances, and it's the low danger ones that are a bit of an issue. Because hang on, let me see.
Also, I want to bring something up after too. Whenever you're done looking here, as they're getting set here in about 10 minutes and 47 seconds to go here, as they're getting set up in the offensive zone for the Bruins. The Leafs getting set up in the offensive zone here. Face-off percentages, it's been all Boston tonight. Yeah. 60-40. It's not even close.
That's a big problem considering the Maple Leafs are a good face-off team. So
right, exactly.
And even in that situation, Tavares got kicked out there. Marner's taking the draw, which
not going to win that. Right?
That was the most tenacious I've seen Mitch all night.
Correct.
Driving for a stop and then not necessarily making a hit, but he made some contact
and taking a hit too on that cross check.
Yeah.
Too. Old Shane Doan jersey home. Oh, nice. Shout out to the Coyotes. Good run.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about your owner.
Very much.
We'll get into that in the intermission though. Okay, something I want to mention though, real quick. I know I'm talking a little off season again, but I want to bring this up because it's important.
Mm-hmm.
If the Leafs have a bad first round where they get knocked out, and you're strictly looking at this goaltending, what are the odds that you guys call us in Calgary for Jacob Markstrom?
I think it shoots right up. I think that first rounder becomes in play. I think
it definitely comes in play. I think it makes a world of a difference.
The only problem is if you're the Maple Leafs and you want to get Markstrom back, I think
who are you giving up?
So that's the thing. Who are we giving up in terms of like assets or prospects?
Right. It's gonna be a big price. Like I don't care what happened at the deadline necessarily, because I don't think his price goes down that much. Because I think a team will blink for him, and it doesn't have to be New Jersey, but it's going to be a first rounder and probably a high prospect. Maybe a high prospect. That's about it.
Zadorov was a couple picks, right?
Yeah, like a fourth and a seventh, though, like nothing major.
Yeah, but that was also because salary was not retained. So,
but Lindholm Lindholm went because he's got 11 points so far with the Canucks. Whatever
and the Canucks gave up Brstevich,
Kuzmenko,
and Yermo. So one was kind of
first round pick, a third or fourth round pick, two in the process. Yeah.
So in that situation, it was two prospects, one blue chip, one not.
Mm-hmm.
If it's Markstrom, I think maybe you could do a first and maybe two B level prospects.
Right.
Because not necessarily like you got to pay for a top tier goalie, but
like this team is different if you stick Markstrom in net.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, right? Like
you at least have a legit number one starter.
Right. And you can go out and get a guy like him.
If you could add maybe another top four defenseman,
mm-hmm.
you're looking at a very solid foundation defensively.
Makes this offseason, man, is going to be so interesting.
Yeah.
But we're not there yet, so let's pump the brakes.
Not yet, yeah.
I know I brought it up, but because I'm a sad Flames fan.
I think you should be one of the teams that come calling, because Samson was a free agent. Joseph Wall had looked good, but also had some shaky moments as well.
Right.
You need some stability in that.
Oh yeah, I'm not looking at just New Jersey anymore. I'm sure there's other teams out there who will have, like, what happens if the Hurricanes get bowed out and the goaltending is an issue? What happens if the Leafs bow out and they have goaltending issue? that's up for debate, right? There's a lot of teams who can probably use a good goaltender and maybe have some good phone call conversations and get something high. But that's a conversation for another day. As commercial break here, 2-0 Bruins.
Even in Anaheim, like I know that there's really been no movement whatsoever on John Gibson.
And Kevin brings up another good point here.
He's a name that you usually look to because of how Anaheim is rebuilding. But is he still going to be that guy that you rely on?
I don't know. He's been up and
down
this year. Well, Kevin brings up a great point. Like, who was the last real world-class goalie that they've had?
I would say Cujo, because he got them to the conference finals one year.
Okay, fair
I'd
enough.
say that.
Okay.
Also, but I think he was also drafted and developed, no? Pot fan?
I think I don't know.
I'm going to have to do a little quick check.
I'm going to have to do some research, but
drafted and developed. Yeah, so he was drafted by the Maple Leafs.
I think for Markstrom, if the Leafs go after him, right? From the Flames perspective, because Flames fan here, it would definitely cost you a first. It probably cost you a decently high prospect, like in your low budget system that you have there in the Marlies. And it might even cost you either a late pick on whatever year you want to pick, or a low prospect, give or take.
Yeah.
Maybe to sweeten the deal. I don't know, but it would take a lot.
Yeah, I think that B-level and low-level prospect, I think probably be more up their alley that they could part with, because they got a lot of depth pieces that they could probably move.
Right.
And ones that may still be on the outside looking in. But again, if it's like an Easton Cowan or a Fraser Minton, that it may be shut down very, very quick.
That's the price, though, it might take, though. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Right? So, yeah. Did you also hear about the Shane Doan retirement number? I heard about this, that it was found in a dumpster, and some guy was like, oh, hey, I found it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so there was some guy who literally found Shane Doan's retirement number, right? Like I don't know if you want to call it the banner or whatever, in a dumpster. And he was like, oh, hey, by the way, this is yours.
Wow.
It's an unbelievable story. It's hilarious. But yeah, pretty cool story. Who would get Allmark in the... Oh, yeah.
Oh, if I'm the Maple Leafs and I'm trying to sign Allmark then. Because then you won't have to give anything up.
You might have to... Yeah, true. Good point.
If that's the case, well, I'd rather try and go after him and sign him than give up assets for Markstrom.
How about you call Calgary just because?
Just because. Why not?
That'd be, oh my God. That's a good point. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah. I also completely forgot too, because if that's what generated this whole thing, right?
It's a good point. Didn't think about that. Man, we're off to a tough start here in this.
Oh, no, wait. No, he's signed for one more year, $5 million. So no.
Well, you still have to trade
so you can still trade him, but
not as much, I would imagine. Yeah. So I don't know where he would go. I think the Devils are still going to look for a goaltender, though. But Neil can talk about that tomorrow. That's Neil. You can do that tomorrow. Rangers wouldn't let Allmark and would interfere. Good point. Because they're in everybody's business. If you get a chance, I don't know if you've seen it before they drop the puck here, go watch Joe Sakic's documentary on Amazon Prime.
I heard good things about it.
Man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's interesting how close he was to being a Ranger, because they offer sheeted him like $15 million up front. And the Avalanche had 7 days and were like, I don't know if we have this money. And they were like tied with some entertainment movie group. And like they went up to like Harrison Ford and this whole thing. It's unbelievable what they were able to do. Oh, yeah. It was crazy what they were able to do to retain Joe Sakic and match the offer. So this was before they won those Stanley Cups too. I think they won one already.
Yeah.
And then they offer sheeted him, but it was unbelievable. Back to the game here, though. Here we got 7 minutes left here. As a little bit back and forth here again. Not much has really happened, to be honest.
Again, it was all Toronto in that first few minutes until Boston scored, and now it's back and forth.
Totally.
That's a pattern at this point.
7:18 to go here. Still 2-0 Boston. Shots are 21-17 here for the Bruins. I need Neil so bad sometimes because he gives such good commentary. I just sit there in awe.
I'll try and take over if you need.
I mean, if you want to give it a whirl, be my guest.
Try and give it a whirl right now. As the puck goes into the Maple Leafs defensive zone, Liljegren carries it up, passes it over to I can't see.
That's the
gonna tell that. I would probably assume that would be Edmonton because that's his defensive partner. But
these guys, like, it's so technical up there now. Yeah, with
Riley passes it up. Maple Leafs center zone. Domi takes a shot, goes wide down into the corner. Puck goes back into the corner. Domi retrieves it, throws it back in front to Bertuzzi. In front, pad save by Swayman, recovers by Bertuzzi, and we got to stop the play right now.
For what?
It looked like the Maple Leafs touched up.
Well, they definitely touched it up. It might be high
so it's a Toronto penalty.
They're looking at it. Matthews is going to go to the box for high sticking.
Oh, my God.
Man, that's a tough penalty. Got to watch your stick, man. Got to watch your stick. That's twice. And also, too, again, like Kevin mentioned here, like Domi's been pretty quiet tonight, too. Matthews in the box, man. That's a tough penalty. You can't take those kind of penalties, man. And that's twice tonight where the Leafs just can't keep their stick down. Twice where they can't keep the stick down, man.
Saving grace is the penalty kill has been 3 for 3.
Problem is again, like I mentioned earlier, John Beecher and Brendan Carlo are your goal scorers.
Mm-hmm.
Something could give here, right?
Camp wins the puck back. Marner with a nice between the leg pass to Camp, and he clears the puck down the ice right now, being retrieved by Kevin Shattenkirk. Goes behind his net, takes a little bit of time, throws it out, and is now Zaka taking the puck out. Puck was deflected in the center ice.
You're doing great, Peter.
I'm trying really hard. It's going too quick for my comfort.
I know. That's why, like, these guys are really good with it. Also, Neil's like just really good with it in general. Like he's got
Neil's like top notch at this point.
Okay, I'll take over here. I'll see what I can do here. 1:20 to go here on the power play. 5 minutes left here in the second period.
The break off by Marner right there.
Marner breaks it off, goes down the other way as the Bruins regroup here with 1 minute to go here. Shattenkirk with it. Shattenkirk finds a way up to the neutral zone. He brings it right back to DeBrusk as they bring their second power play unit out. Also, Maroon was on that first power play unit, by the way.
Yeah,
don't know why.
Presence.
No, yeah, probably that's what it was. As
really can't do much if he's just standing in front of the net too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Morgan Geekie with it out there, right back to the point.
Finds it over to McAvoy.
Marchand found it over to McAvoy. McAvoy now finds it over to DeBrusk. DeBrusk getting a chance. Shot, scores. Jake DeBrusk scores for the Bruins. Power play goal, and it's 3-0 Boston. My goodness.
I want to say I'm shocked, but I'm not.
At some point, that power play was just
going to click.
You said it, man. 3 straight penalty kills. It was bound to break here as it's Jake DeBrusk here. And again, where's the shot from? Top of the circle, left side, same place as the second goal, and they're finding Samsonov's weak spot every single time. The Bruins lead 3-0 here in game 1, and it's a tough break, man, for Matthews because you've got to keep your stick down, right? Like, you can't allow that, right? As, man, it makes you wonder how the Leafs are going to respond here in game 2. You cannot go down 2-0 to this team, right? If this is the way it's going to go.
But that's the thing. You just see a hit from Bertuzzi right there. Great. But now what's that going to do? You're not getting anything to the net right now.
Right. Exactly.
In the second period.
Man, it is. And we just finished talking about Jake DeBrusk too, man. Like, hey, he's been doing great. He's been doing great so far now as he finds the Bruins now up 3-0 here. That's 2 goals here. Is that right? I'm seeing on the Yahoo scoreboard 2 goals in the second. No, it was 2-0 before the break.
No, it was 1-0. But it was 1-0 before first period.
Oh,
or before the second.
Right, Brendan Carlo scored. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Well, we didn't give our predictions before the game. By the way, for game 1, we only had Jared who mentioned 4-3 Bruins in OT. I actually had the Bruins winning 3-1.
It
I'm
is
not just saying that
3-0
just
right now.
3-0. I know. I'm not just saying that just because it was. I was going to mention that earlier on. Call me out. I don't care. I imagine you had the Leafs winning game 1 tonight.
I said they would win because I thought that they would be a little bit more motivated, but they're just getting dummied right now.
Going the other way.
Yeah.
Liam checking in as well too. Liam, what's going on here? Do you mind taking over for a second? I really got to go to the bathroom.
I will take over as best as possible, man. Yeah.
I'll be 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so if you are joining us right now, the Maple Leafs are down 3-0 to the Boston Bruins. And as you can tell, I am not a happy camper right now. Maple Leafs are leading in shots, but there doesn't seem like a whole lot is happening. Swayman's very steady and solid in that right now. It's going to take a miracle for them to try and solve them. It looked like they might have when Matthews hit an empty net off of a post, but nothing to this point, and the Maple Leafs are in a bigger hole than what they were to start the period. Basically, if you're Toronto right now, one more in this game is done because there's no way that you could go down even deeper than what you already are, and this was the problem to begin with. You have 23 shots on net, haven't solved Swayman yet halfway through the game, and there's nothing going for them at this moment.
Okay, we're good.
Good.
We're all good.
We're all set. Perfect. Just before puck drop.
Also, if people want to ask, I know I had to show Peter earlier on, but this is a minor hockey league jersey from like 10 years ago. And what's your number you usually wear if you play like pickup hockey? You got a number that you wear?
Try to go for 44 because like 4 was my number in like House League Select, but 44 combines the two together because double-digit numbers look kind of cool.
I agree. I'm a 5 guy. I don't know why. It just sticks with me. But I played like pickup too in university, and I think I had like 71 like the first year, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just stick with it. Like, let's just roll with it all 4 years, and that's what we did. That's Jake DeBrusk's first goal here of the playoffs. No kidding. Assisted by McAvoy and Marchand. So they're finding their way on the board as well. Maybe not on the goal scoring sheet, but they're still finding their way to get some points here as, 4:22 to go. You have to find a way to score one here if you're the Leafs to get back into this.
And Domi's going back into the box. Yep, this is over. Yep.
Domi all over Marchand. He slashes Marchand in the hand. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like
it's just stupid penalties, man, that these guys are taking. Slashes Brad Marchand, and he's gonna go to the box, and the Bruins will get another chance here. That is Bill coming in here, firing on all cylinders. Listen, they haven't gotten my money in 20 years because I can't afford it. So it's true. Like, I'm not paying like $400 for a ticket when they play the friggin' Coyotes. Not gonna lie. Nor I won't do that. So as I hope your night's going well though, Bill. I appreciate you checking in. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go here. Bruins on power play here, 140 as they get set up here. I think they have their second power play unit out here done. Or no, they have their first power play unit out. Minus Marchand, who's slashed. Leafs try to break it out, and they will here. Again, this is what, the 5th power play they've had this game so far, give or take?
Sorry?
This is the 5th power play, I think, right? The Bruins, 4th? 5th?
Sounds about right.
Okay, sure.
Sure, why not?
Bruins get a chance. Puck goes wide.
Sounds about right.
If they get 4 here, they probably pull Samson off, right? Probably.
Does it really make a difference anymore?
No, but they probably will. Just cause.
If anything, I'd probably just keep him in because, this is on you for having a very poor effort in game 1. You do what you expect. You do as your opponent. Like, I know you're probably getting ready for Florida. Boston plays the same style as Florida anyways. It didn't matter.
The funniest
know
thing,
what this team is like.
Right. The funniest thing is that you go back to the Matthews hitting the post. This game could have easily been 2-1, and we're maybe talking a different story, right?
That momentum could have changed.
Totally. Oh my God, absolutely. I should really not be wearing this jersey. Maybe I'm the curse a little bit.
I don't know. Maybe it's also me too. Because it seems like I have better. I have better luck without wearing a jersey. Domi's trading coming.
You've worn a jersey every time we've done one of these, so
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Connor saying Steve Dangle's thumbnail of his watch longs is him laughing manically after Leafs lost 5-2. I thought that was so funny. So I give him so much credit though, because and he says it a lot of the times too, right? Whenever his videos blow up, right? I imagine a video like tonight, if it goes this direction, probably going to blow up again, right? He knows his audience, man.
Oh yeah, he knows his audience.
Totally.
They love the pain, and there we go.
He scores. It's Jacob Brusk again.
Just absolutely pathetic at this point.
Jake DeBrusk in front of the net takes 2 whacks at it, gets over the pad of Samsonov, and it is a 4-0 game. This crowd is going bonkers. What a start for Boston. Holy smokes. So just seeing the replay here again, they were on the power play here. DeBrusk in front. Wow, that defense was not good there by Edmondson. That was really bad. You left DeBrusk all alone in front, stick down, takes 2 whacks at it, maybe 1 whack at it. And I don't know if that's
that was like 3 deflections, pad, blocker, and into.
Totally.
But yeah, no, you can't.
Can they use wait, no, bring back. Can Leafs use their where's David Ayers when you need him?
Oh.
Man. So listen, I'm sorry, Peter. I know this is not the way it was supposed to go tonight, but
honestly, this is how I probably imagined it as well. Like maybe even for the whole series. So like I said before, I would like to be optimistic, but I cannot for the life of me feel like that this year is better than last year. I do not think that.
Do you think game 2 is probably going to feel like game 7 a little bit?
If it is, then Maple Leafs have bad luck in game 7.
Right.
So,
okay. Yeah, you know what I Okay, good point.
You know what's crazy? I will say this, and I am seeing this online. Game 1s are not their best, but and history shows game 1s have not been their best, and they do respond to games 2, 3, so on.
Well, typically in general, like if you're the road team, I'm not just saying for the Leafs, I'm just saying in general, like if you're the road team, and I said it for the Capitals series too when they play the Rangers, you only need to take 1 game on
That's
the
all
road.
you need. Yeah.
You
then it's still knotted up when you get home to your barn, right?
Right. Whether or not you add more pressure onto that, different story. Is another penalty I think is coming to Tyler Bertuzzi, and the Leafs are going to go to the box again.
It looked like Boston touched it.
Oh, did it? Oh,
it looked like Boston touched it. So I think it looks like Leafs power play, but I could be wrong.
Domi laughing and smiling is unbelievable. It's unreal why he's doing
it's a trip on Matthews, yeah.
Okay. Trip on Matthews.
And then that's just a good hit by Burt.
It's a fine hit. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's a good hit by Burt. I don't know why Peake was upset about that, but
sure. So Matthews was tripped. It's actually a Leafs power play coming up here. And man, you know what's funny? I bring this up because Kevin, not Berfluzzi. So I got a chance to watch Tyler Bertuzzi when he played in Guelph in his rookie year, and when he was just growing up as a junior for the Guelph Storm. I don't see the same player as I used to.
Yeah,
I don't see him the way I used to, because he played, man, that team he played on, I'm telling you, for the Guelph Storm at the time in like 2015, such a good team. Him, Robbie Fabry was on this team. It was it was underrated how good of a team that really was, but I don't see the same player anymore. Yeah.
So I thought, like, when I saw him in Detroit, I thought he was a good skater, but his skating is just
going off.
Bad. at this
Totally.
point. I thought it would have been a little bit better, or like, so I mean, he could keep up, but it's not enough to create separation at this point. And yeah,
Right.
the power play is just an absolute tire fire right now.
So my issue so far here, Leafs on the power play here with 1:30 to go here. I'm not even putting a lot of the blame here on the core, right? You have to look at the defense and the goaltending.
At the same, I agree. I agree, but at the same time, it's like it's up to you to take charge and actually have a fire in you. Not seeing that fire aside from maybe Matthews.
And again, maybe we're having a different conversation if it's 2-1, right?
Yeah. If it was at least 2-1 and if Matthews at least capitalized on that, again, he's trying.
I really have to stop talking like I'm a Leaf fan here.
Yeah.
I don't know why I threw. Listen, the only
have your take. No, I totally agree.
The reason I threw it on tonight was just because we're celebrating the fact that it's playoff time, and I wanted to
Morgan Riley just basically shoots it right at Beecher.
Leafs power play against Boston this year.
1 for 7.
In Boston, 1 for 7. That's brutal.
It was that one Mitch Marner goal.
So Leafs will be on the power play here for about 7 seconds once this period ends. If they don't score here, they're going to probably get one more chance here with the second power play unit, and it's going to go right back the other way here with Pavel Zacha going right the other way here. He's going to find DeBrusk again. He's looking for a hat trick, stopped by Samsonov again here. Puck goes back in, and that is going to do it for the second period here as the Bruins score 3 goals straight. 2 by Jake DeBrusk, 1 by Brendan Carlo, and the Bruins are well on their way to a Game 1 victory. And I think I have a fly in my room. I just saw this thing buzzing. I was like, what the hell was that?
At one point, any other team would have a fire in them. Like, they come out guns a-blazing after, like, mid-game in a shift. I don't understand why this team does not do that consistently or do that at all. Like, that is the one thing I have with this team where that effort is not good enough and it won't get you far in the playoffs. Like, any other team, Tampa, Florida, they would come out and just basically run you into the ground. This Toronto team, and this is one of my main things, they do not do that. And you know what? I go back to, like, you know, I know a lot of people pick Toronto, but that's the reason why I picked Boston, because I don't think this team has it in them.
Totally. Yeah, so we'll kind of come back. We'll take a bit of a break here. We'll come back. We'll quickly talk about the second period here. I mean, overall thoughts. I mean, it's just been Boston all the way, and the Leafs have just been stupid with penalties. That's pretty much been
done exactly how I predicted.
I think a lot of people maybe would agree. But Jared mentions it here. I know Danelle brought it up too as well in the second period. I think we'll get into that a bit more now that this game's a little bit out of reach. We'll talk more about the Coyotes in the future there in Salt Lake City. But for now, let's take a quick 3-minute break here. Let's take a nice bathroom break. I'll try to kill this fly without breaking anything. And we'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back. Well, welcome back. I feel better because I, can't wear it anymore, and I took it off and I decided to wear my regular shirt. As well, then it's been a blowout here as the Bruins lead 4-0 here in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs against the Toronto Maple Leafs here in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. Yeah, so I mean, not really much to talk about there in the second period. We kind of saw what happened there for the most part. A lot of penalties being taken by Toronto and, a lot of silly stuff happening with them, and they can't really find their footing necessarily too as well. So tough to see, but, I'm not surprised at the end of the day. So we'll wait for Pierre to come back a little bit, but let's kind of get into it because I know Danelle asked it early on, and I know Jared's going to asking it here, but I figure let's give a little bit of a talk about it real quick, considering we have nothing else to really talk about based on the scoreboard here. Yeah, I figure I'd like to hear you guys in the comments too about what your thoughts are with the whole move to Salt Lake City. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? What's good about it? What's not good about it? Do they go back to Arizona? Do they not go back? A lot of things need to be figured out. I'll kind of start by saying that, and I know Peter will jump in soon eventually, but I'll kind of start by saying that I think hockey can work there, right? Was it going to work in that arena? Of course not. Like, they were waiting to obviously get a new one built, had to go talk to the city, blah, blah, blah. Problem is that the owner there really wasn't handling things well, right? And I can kind of get into that a little bit more, but ultimately he was just a bad owner, right? Who didn't know his chips from his you-know-what. And it just wasn't going to work necessarily with Alex Merlot as Peter joins us back again. Just wanted to kind of start. No, it's all good. I just want to kind of bring up.
As I was mentioning, I was doing some dog sitting as well. So.
Oh, I killed the fly.
Oh, you killed. Yes. There we go. Silver lining.
Wow.
So it was something we could talk about.
It was on the light bulb, and I lightly tapped it, and it fell. And I'm like, well, that worked.
Oh, okay. I thought I was about to say.
So anyway, enough about a dead fly. Whatever.
I mean, I seem to be taking the show right now, so why not?
It's. I mean, a dead fly takes more of a show than what the Leafs are putting out there right now. So yeah, to quickly wrap, I want your true thoughts here too, as well, with the Coyotes and moving to Salt Lake. So the ownership there was terrible. Mm-hmm. Wasn't going to work. You put new ownership in there. I know it's kind of flip-flop a little bit, but you need to find the right personnel to really dedicate yourself and find a guy like Ryan Smith, who's out in Utah getting this team ready, right? You need a guy like him because you have people out there who are already buying season tickets. I think there's 11,000 who signed up for season tickets already, right? So you need a guy kind of like Ryan Smith, who's out there in Utah, to run the ship there in Arizona because you can make it work, right? Mm-hmm. And whether your market, you have to kind of look at what the market is too, depending on where you put the team, right? Are you looking for where people go to retire, right? And they show up there in the wintertime and they want to go to a game? Are you looking at, was the university crowd working there when you were at the Mullet Arena? What kind of a market are you really looking at in terms of getting this team kind of set up and ready to go? And the kind of atmosphere you want to present itself, right? Because and I know when the Leafs play a regular season game, 70 to 80% of that crowd is businessmen, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's be honest here, right? It's too much of a ticket price. They're an original 6 team. That's just the crowd. That's just the way it is, right? You
Basically, go down. We're never getting into that lower bowl or platform.
Right. You go to Carolina, for example. You got guys who actually tailgate a lot before games, and they do a phenomenal job with that because that's the crowd that they go towards. So shifting it over to Salt Lake City, it's funny. I'm going to bring up the map a little bit, right? On the map. And
put a little door in there.
Yeah, a little door, I know. And again, I'm going to bring up where we're from, right? And I think it can still work in Salt Lake City because you can't just – what people are trying to think of here is that, okay, you have, 1.2 million, give or take, in Salt Lake City, give or whatever, close to that number?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, you have close to 2 million in Toronto, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just Toronto. It's
outside of Toronto.
Right. It's for those of us in Ontario.
Salt Lake.
And I know Edmonton, it's Mississauga, it's Hamilton, it's me all the way up in Orangeville, it's Vaughan, it's Barrie,
Oshawa.
Right. It's so many of these other places that people will just be willing to go down and see them, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not at these ticket prices, but that's here nor there. When you look at Salt Lake City, you do have a path where there are a couple of towns and cities somewhat connected that can get people to drive more in. But the problem is that it's still a straight line where town, you have Salt Lake City, town, yada, yada, yada. And then you have these like giant lakes and mountains. So a lot of it is going to come within the city. And that's where they have to generate a lot of the revenue from, is from people coming, those season ticket holders and people from specifically within Salt Lake City. So I'm very curious to see how it turns out. Maybe in the next 5 years, we'll probably get a better idea. Your thoughts on the whole relocation?
First things first, right there. If they're able to like make the Jazz succeed in Utah, where still the Utah Jazz, right?
Well, you know what fixes everything is winning.
Yeah. Okay. So the Jazz are still, they were 12th in the Western Conference, right? So they're still whatever, but they still get the crowds. You're able to do that. You're able to market. You're able to do everything well, which is what, the owner has in mind. They at least have a plan in place.
Right.
Morello did not have anything in place. And ever since, what was it? Maybe 2010, 2011, 2012, around there, maybe even 2013, the Coyotes, they were starting to become a team that can, do some damage. I think they even made the Western Conference final one time. And it's like things were looking upright, but when that new ownership kicked in, that was the problem. Then there was this. Then there was also John Chaika, who basically did that, scouting without any issue, or there was that issue where they had to forfeit draft picks because of that, drafting without consent thing.
I remember that.
Yeah. I have to. Gonna have to just.
You're looking up.
Yeah. Like, rest of the year after dispute with Coyotes.
Yeah, he was not a good owner.
Forfeited draft picks. Party. Okay, yeah.
And we mentioned it before we jumped on tonight. That press conference with Gary Bettman was probably one of the worst that we've seen in
combine testing violations. That was the correct term for that. Yeah, so there was that. Gotcha. It just seemed like it was issue on top of issue on top of issue. Then I think there was like this whole entire thing where they couldn't give out like pay up contracts or like bonuses for players. That is another sticking point. Then there's that 5,000 seat arena. Yeah, you get the college crowd and everything, but that is not sustainable.
That's it.
There's a hope that if maybe they do get the land in that, I think it was, I can't remember, but there's this land auction where they're hoping they can still win it. But that doesn't seem very likely at this point. It seems like it will go to Utah for now. But if they do win that land, there's absolutely no way Morello could come back, because this has just been an absolute disaster. You were talking about the press conference. Yeah. Just an absolute, show in itself. Like, it really is. And for once, Gary Bettman did what the commissioner should have done and basically said, you were losing money. This and this is what's happening. And he's basically looking at him and saying, this can't go on. And you saw the looks where maybe Morello was trying to like downplay it, but Bettman looked like he was not having any of that.
No.
And that's a big problem when I get you want to try and make it succeed, because you have had Matthews, Thompson, Nyes, all of these guys that basically come from the desert. As a result of that, you want that to continue. You want to see it succeed, but without that ownership in place, you're not going to get anything. It stems from the top down. If there's that plan in place, everything's going to work out. There isn't, you're going to end up like the Atlanta Thrashers. You're going to end up like other teams where they just completely fold. And it's just a shame, because I know a lot of great writers who like basically write for the Coyotes, and it pains me to see them possibly not have anything now because of that. And obviously, wish everyone that covered the team in management, upper whatever, succeed or like have a great future, but it is tough for them, the fans, everybody involved, because there was so much dedication from everybody else except for the owners at that point.
Right. And to piggyback off that, and then we'll kind of get back to the game here a little bit. That press conference pretty much summed everything up, did it not? Where Alex basically sat there, and to your point again, where like, people are losing their jobs, number one, right? Alex goes in there and goes, well, I can't breathe, guys. Hold on. Like, I'm getting bullied too much here, right? I can't take this right now. Oh, yeah, neither can the other people, too, who are in Arizona who actually lost their jobs, and you're still making millions off this, too, especially. Like, not a big deal, right? Not like other people have jobs and livelihoods, right? So it brings it all back again. Every single time we have these sort of issues or these sort of, topics about expansion, relocation, whatever it may be, it's dollars and cents at the end of the day, man.
Always.
This is not a sports league. This is a business. That's all it is. And that's what unfortunately people need to realize. So,
and again, I go back to that land auction thing or whatever. If you lose that, there's no way you could survive another year making or seating 5,000 people. And most of them are going to be road fans. Totally. You're only going to see them once, maybe twice a year. There's absolutely no way in hell that is going to be sustainable. And Gary Bettman knows that. So he might as well just say, you know what, this is the placeholder, see what happens. But again, if there's another owner willing to step up and actually make it work,
go in with it. Yeah.
Go in with it. I would love to see the Coyotes back. Especially if you wear those Kachina jerseys, man. Like, that's like top tier.
And actually, I think Jared mentioned that earlier on here, where the jersey is the green Kachina alternate jersey for the Coyotes, and I have it. Oh yes,
it's a classic. It's a classic.
It is a classic.
It's a beauty.
It's a classic.
But until that happens, there's got to be someone willing to make it work. And even if they win the land and they don't get the owner, that's going to fold even more.
Doesn't matter.
Because then you spend all that money on a new arena, everything like that, like a new multiplex, mini downtown area kind of thing. And for what? For you to fold another 2-3 years down the line? Or not, well, when everything's all said and done, everything's set, everything's open.
Yeah.
3-4 years? No way. No way.
Give it a fresh start, and we'll come back to the Coyotes later on in a couple of years, and that's the way it's going to be. So, okay, so that's a good way to end that. RJ hilariously brings up Game 2 Monday at 8:00.
Thanks, RJ.
Let's give you 7:00. Excuse me.
Let's just get through Game 1 first.
Right. So let's bring it back here. We're probably going to start the third period soon. For those of you just checking in, it is 4-0 still for the Boston Bruins, as I honestly did not expect it to go this way tonight. What do you want to see out of this Leafs team going to the third period? Like, maybe not a win, but what do you need to see? Like, you got to find it in the back of the net at some point, right?
Just show some fight. Show some passion. Like, Boston's taken a stranglehold on you. Like, you had the edge in shots, but it doesn't even look like you're dominating the game at this point. Mm-hmm. I thought that was the case in the first, but that second period, you had all the shots, but you were not the dominant team.
Correct.
Like, literally just you're looking to Game 2 right now. It'll take a miracle for them to come back and try and win this game. If they're able to come back, great, but it's got to start right now, and it's got to be showing that everyone, top down, every single player, you got to finish your hit, take your shot, drive hard, and work for those opportunities, because they're not even working at this point.
For sure.
That's my main thing. Show some fight, show some tenacity, show some energy, and actually play like you want to win this period. You could end up still losing the game, but if you actually make it 4-2, 4-3, tie it up, hell, try and get the win in overtime, go right ahead. Be my guest. But it's got to start right now, and good chances early on here as the third period is underway. But, keep it going, You
got to show something here, right? Something's got to give.
Just something. Right? Anything.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree.
You're looking at the bare minimum so that you could look forward to the next game. And here we go.
John Tavares is going to get a chance.
Breakaway, but right at the crest of swinging.
Chance. I don't know if I would have done that from there. You got to go in closer.
No.
So much room, right?
With his hands in tight, why not take that advantage? Why are you just wanting to go for a slap shot there? Again, poor decision when you had all that time and space.
Gotta go in.
And they were going for a change. I don't know why you just take that shot.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. Totally agree.
Unless you're probably Austin Matthews for a slap shot. I probably wouldn't
different
be
story.
That. Different story. Exactly.
Might be a different story.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that Samsonov is still in net?
No, because looking back, because even during intermission, that's that the third goal, the first DeBrusk one, Benoit did not even challenge him. As much as you want to put the blame on Samsonov to like make a save, it just beat him. But imagine it again. Imagine if you get into that lane and help your goalie out to block that shot.
Makes a difference.
Even if it was a stick check, even if it was just deflected off, even if it goes wide, high, whatever. There you go. That's what you want.
There it is.
That's what you want to see from especially from the fourth line right there.
Early on, and all of a sudden, the Leafs find a way finally here, beginning of the third period. It comes from David Kampf here, 18:21 to go, and the Leafs make it a 4-1 game. They have the fourth line back out there again. They were buzzing the whole time. Shot on net, tipped in front, right to Kampf, wide open. As the Leafs all of a sudden make it a 4-1 game.
And that's what you just want. You just want to get a little bit of life and claw your way back at this point. That's all they needed. And I'm glad from that fourth line because that first goal was kind of bad. But from then on, they've been, pretty okay. Maybe
for sure,
like even within their own zone, maybe a little bit of scares here and there, but when they're in the offensive zone, they got their chances. They made it work.
Anybody can take it. Totally. And again, but like you said, it came from the fourth line. Out of all the lines and the people it can come from, it comes from David Kampf, right? It's unbelievable. As they get William Nylander back out there here, third line out for the Leafs as.
I believe that was Robertson. Nylander ain't playing.
Or sorry, yeah, that's what I meant. I know you want to juggle the lines a little bit, and I get it, but your top guys have to play on the top line, do they not?
They do, but at the same time, you risk someone like not necessarily. I hate to pick on Mitch Marner, but
right. Sorry, go ahead.
A guy that basically struggles when in these moments or whatever, but you want to give him that opportunity. And you know what? In this instance, maybe you do go to Marner because of how poor Domi has played, especially taking 2 bad penalties in this game. I know you want to set the tone, but now you need some skill. You need to get some shots. You need to get some plays going. Domi can do that, but risk of getting another penalty possibly. I don't know. That's basically you're playing with fire at that point. I understand you want to get the starts going. Obviously, you probably put Nylander on there, but he's out. Who can you move up into the lineup? At this point, it's only Mitch Marner.
Here's the thing. Pasternak's making $11 million. Nylander's making $11 million. Who's on the first line? Who's on the third line here?
Yeah.
Right? Like, why does that have to be the case? You're paying these guys that much money. Right. It shouldn't be. You're paying these guys that much money. Why? And I get the reasoning at the beginning. Like, you need to separate these guys to fluctuate the lineup a little bit. But no, like, you're paying these guys that much money. Get on the top line and start playing with each other. Right?
You want to be an $11 million man? You got to perform like one in the playoffs because we need you right now.
But they also
if Marner goes cold at this point, what does that say for him in his next contract?
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. No, this offseason, he's gone. Marner will be gone.
Tough with the no move clause, though.
They would find a way. I wouldn't be shocked if they find a way.
Interesting.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if they find a way to get rid of him because I think they need to, right?
Yeah.
And I get the no move clause and everything. We'll see what you have to kind of see where
at this point now, Nylander has been more consistent in the playoffs than Marner. So
for sure. Totally. As Leafs getting a lot of
fourth line back, generating some buzz.
Whatever seems to be
Speckle down low. Guys. Puck goes off a skate, and it looks like Dewar is circling back to try and pressure Coyle at this point. Passes it back to Brandon Carlo, shoots it in at the red line. Off the ref almost. Oh, get out of the way, Stripes.
Get out.
Oh my God. Domi looks like he just beat out an icing. Good move right there. Probably the best one he's done all game.
Bertuzzi again
throws
here.
it out in front. Good shot on net. Cycled down. It comes back out. Bushkin passes it back to Riley. Riley circles back into his own zone. He generates some speed. Passes it up to Bert. Bert tries to chip it by. Broken up. Domi's in the corner. Throws it back to Lyubushkin. Lyubushkin being patient. Throws it down low. Bertuzzi has the puck. Matthews to Riley in front. Just missed
Back
it.
out wide. Jeez.
And if you're Morgan Riley there, you got to get it. You got to get a hold of that, and you just got to rip it. You can't just stand on that right there.
So far, it's been good, though. So far, it's been a good period.
Good response. Good response. And you're taking a lot of pressure off Samsonov at this point, which is great. Bushkin throws it in. Looks like Yarncroke tipped it in. Mm-hmm. Robertson coming back. Great pressure on David Pastrnak right there. Again, you're seeing what you want to see from Marner. You just saw from Robertson right there, just giving Pastrnak that extra shove right there.
Totally. It's amazing. 14-20 here to go here.
Big hit on Robertson right there.
See, but here's the thing now, right? You get these big hits, right? I think it was Morgan Geek who provides the hit. And all of a sudden, Benoit's focus is, I have to retaliate. I have to get back at him, right? It's
can't do that. You can't lose focus.
If it happens, it happens. Just let it go.
The hits should all come naturally at that point.
Totally.
Don't just go in circle and try and find the guy that laid a big hit.
Because it's going to be
right there. That McAvoy coming down, you want to lay a hit? Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Totally. As they're showing the shift time here now, as some of the guys have been
Maple Leafs are on. Every Maple Leaf is on for a minute right now. Everyone is dead tired.
Yeah.
They're exhausted, trying to, and
they can't find a way to get it out here.
When Lauko are going at her right there. Great battle from McCabe right there along the boards. Showing some extra strength right there, but it still does not help the Maple Leafs as they can't get the puck out. The Brusque throws it down low. The Maple Leafs are not even moving. They are stagnant. They are not even moving.
They're just playing this puck around here. This one all of a sudden becomes a power play.
Yeah.
Marchand with it. Finds it. Trying to go across here. Can't. They
delay penalty.
Oh, that's what it was. Oh, and a penalty all of a sudden. After all of that.
Everyone is exhausted.
Being on the ice for
that long. Benoit was that close. That close to making it a 4-2 game.
And it's McCabe who's going to go off here, it looks like, that's going to be cross-checking on the boards, it looks like. I don't know if we'll call that cross-checking or boarding, but the Bruins go back on the power play here with, how much time left on this?
If that were me, I probably would have made a case for maybe just offsetting minors because Lauko was the one who basically shoved McCabe down as well when he was on top of him.
Correct.
I probably would have done offsetting minors, but I'm not an official.
Well, you should be.
I appreciate that. At least I probably do a better job than them.
You could. Bruins go on the power play here with 13 minutes to go, trying to basically ice this game here. Again, looking ahead here. So again, we got Monday at 7:00 between the Leafs and the Bruins. I imagine we'll probably be going live for that one. We'll see how it goes, but that's going to be Monday on April 22nd. We have Leafs and Bruins game 2 in that one. Again, tomorrow we have Jimmy doing Rangers Capitals. He will be live at 3 p.m. Eastern in the afternoon. And again, you'll see myself and Neil on again at 7:00 tomorrow night between the Jets and the Avalanche for that game 1. Peter, I hope we have you on again at some point during the series if it doesn't go well. If it starts going like this, I'd be concerned.
Again, this is like one of those games where, again, you're basically down also 2 regulars in Nylander and McMahon.
Right.
So the speed that Bobby McMahon can have and the size that he can bring, I think that would have been an ideal, addition on the attack, especially on the wing too, where maybe if you do have McMahon, Holmberg's, or I have to imagine that when both come back, maybe Holmberg is out and Robertson come out as well.
I don't know. So that's the thing, man.
That way, that third line is going to be McMahon, Yarncroke, Nylander.
Right.
Or you bump one of Dewar down and put Yarncroke on that fourth line, but I really don't know.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be
Yeah.
very interesting to see like what kind of line
That's
changes.
those are the only line changes that you need to make.
Right.
I still think maybe you give that top line another opportunity where maybe Max Domi isn't doing anything dumb.
Sure.
Same with Bert. But if it gets down where you need to get something, hopefully there's that spark where your top players, your multi-million-dollar players actually come through for you.
Totally. Absolutely. So 1:20 to go here. Bruins on the power play here. The Leafs looking to get it out, and they do. They're going to find Holmberg here.
Holmberg.
Yeah, Holmberg's going to get a chance in. He brings it all the way in here. Bruins pick it up and go right back the other way here with their second.
And it looks like him and McAvoy are going at it as well.
Yep, Morgan Geek, he's got it. Another chance here in front for the Bruins here. No chance. Samsonov puts it away. Riley gets it right back to Holmberg, and Holmberg finds a way to get it out again. Little bit of a rush here with Riley as he tries to find. It's not McCabe. I don't think that's McCabe. No, he's in the box.
Dewar.
Oh my God, Dewar. I keep thinking Dewar's number is friggin' McCabe's. I swear we're gonna get better at this.
Yeah. Pasternak enters the zone.
Go ahead.
Breaks through the defense, throws it around back to Coyle.
Yes.
Yeah, I need my glasses. I think I need my glasses. Throws it back to Pasternak. Pasternak, nice little move to
Zacha.
Zacha with a good shot up high.
Talk about a guy who's kind of rejuvenated his career a little bit.
Yeah.
He's played really well. Got to give him credit. He's played very well here.
And if there's one team to turn him around, it's definitely Boston.
Totally. Boston fans have to be so happy with the way this is going.
On the breakout, it looks like Boakfist is on the attack right now. Goes down low. Camp gets the puck, brings it back. Maple Leafs kill off the penalty. McCabe throws it back in, and Camp goes in on the attack as well. Throws it back for Matthews. Corrals it back to Domi. Domi throws it back to Lyubushkin. Lyubushkin down low. Both Camp and Matthews battling for it in the corner right now. Puck goes back to Lyubushkin. Lyubushkin to Riley. Riley throws it into the corner. Max Domi tries to intercept it and get the retrieval. Can't do that. And
so much pressure on that blue line. When they're in the offensive zone.
You know what sucks about commentating while watching TV?
Mm-hmm.
The players on the far wing, I can't see their numbers, and it's blocked off. And it's like, I can't even tell who that was until it was Beecher at the end, right?
You wonder how these commentators do it.
Yeah. Well, really they have the bird's eye view. They can see everything.
Yeah, totally.
I unfortunately can't. Would I like to be calling it as good as them? Absolutely. But, limited. That looked like it could have been a penalty because McAvoy got his stick up on Holmberg. And there were two high sticks already on the Leafs. That could have been something else for the Maple Leafs. Another power play.
They were sticking Maroon in front of that net saying, just cover Samsonov, man. He won't see these shots really well. And it's been known tonight too as well. I mean, again, like you look at a lot of these shots here, outside of the one here, like kind of in front of the net, like DeBrus kind of banging in front. Hash marks now would have been mostly, again, the times where Samsonov's just not seeing these pucks properly, right? So, and again, look at his save percentage, 22, 826. Like, it's not been great, right?
Although I would say, again, first goal, you would like him to save that, but 2-on-1, always difficult. Then there's that, seeing eye shot from Carlo, probably could have had that, but that DeBrusque one, Simon Benoit didn't help him out as well.
Yep. If you got to find something here for the Leafs, you have to do it right now, right? Like you have maybe 2 minutes to try to put yourself back into the game for some reason, right?
Yeah.
But again, like it's this top line that's been dead quiet again tonight.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing though. Like I don't care if Matthews hit the post earlier on. Like you got to put that puck in the net, man. Like So
I'm a little upset too, but good shot from Holmberg. Yeah.
Stop Holmberg.
Great patience from Robertson to get some players in. Holmberg rips it on net. And again, Swayman's got their number.
So we're one game in almost, right? And Matthews, Marner, and Nylander and the rest have been held off the board. Ryan Reeves, I think, has the assist. like, what does that tell? We're game
Dewar
one.
and Reeves assisted on that camp goal. Yeah.
Dewar and Reeves have a point, and fucking Matthews and Nylander and Marner have nothing to show for it tonight. That's the whole. This is what bothers me, right? And I know Keefe said it in an interview, whatever it was, a couple of days ago when it was a distraction. Like, okay, you're not wrong. Probably don't want to hear it from you, but you're not wrong. That whole Matthews getting 70 goals thing was the biggest distraction that this team did not need. Right? Like, I don't give a damn if he scored 100 goals this year. I don't care if he scored 1,000. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
I remember to this day, because Steve Dangle mentioned it like a year or two ago, right? But I remember this, right? And it's hilarious. For the Leafs specifically with this core, you have exhibition preseason, you have exhibition that counts, and then you have the playoffs, right?
You have two exhibition seasons.
Correct. Because you know this team can get in. We all know that. We're not stupid, right? And so they just can't. I don't know if Marner can perform at this level. I don't think he can.
This is the make or break year for all of them.
How much do you want to bet Marner's next contract will be under $10 million?
I would see here.
It wouldn't shock me.
It wouldn't shock me, but the argument that he's going to make for over that is because he's been up for,
screw that
awards, but it doesn't matter at that point. It doesn't matter. You're not performing in the playoffs like when you should be, and that is the big problem.
The benchmark realistically should be whatever Nathan McKinnon got after he won the cup, because they signed him to an 8-year deal at 11.6, I think, give or take, whatever it was. I don't know. You can give me the exact number, but whatever McKinnon earned that contract, he brought the team to the cup, right? And to be fair, like, he's brought the team to the playoffs to a couple more times, but at least the guy goddamn earned it, right?
12.6.
These guys are just right. Okay, 12.6. Thank you.
Yeah.
At least he earned that, though. Right?
Yeah.
These guys have basically they bullied MLSC, and they bullied Kyle Dubas, and they bullied Brad Treliving into getting them the extensions that they so-called deserved in the regular season, right? Congratulations, you're scoring 4 goals a game against the Ottawa Senators, and you can't do anything here in game 1. This series is already over if they can't decide to put the puck in the net for any reason.
I will say this, out of all the core players, I mean, Matthews is the only one that looks like he's doing anything. Sure. I will say that, but again, I agree with you. He's got to bury that puck. Can't go off the post.
You know what? Yeah, I agree, but no. Like, you're getting paid. You're going to be getting paid 14. I don't know if he is right now or if it kicks in next season. I think it does. But you're getting paid $14 million at the start of the next year. You better find a way to put that puck in the net.
13. Yeah, right? 13 next season.
Right.
I do agree. And it comes to a point now where it's like, you got your paycheck. Are you actually going to play? Like, because if you're not, then there's really no point. And that's the problem with the players right now having that kind of control. But,
to me, like, I'm always going to look at the comparison to, especially with William Nylander when he signed his deal with Pastrnak, right? Who deserves that? Who do you think with the value of those contracts? Pastrnak by a mile. It's not even close. It's not close. I think a lot of people, especially in the Boston community, can probably make an argument, and Jared here even too, who's probably said it before, where Pastrnak is probably the most valuable player on that team, maybe outside of Brad Marchand, right? And whatever, you can make an argument here or there for it, and that's fine. But the guy's only getting paid $11 million because he deserves it. At least that team's gotten to the Eastern Conference Final, right?
Yeah.
So, man, I'm telling you, like, I don't like the fact that Brad Treliving is your GM. From experience in Calgary, I don't like it, because he signed Huberdeau to this long deal. He signed Kadri and Weegar these long deals, and then he left. Right? Yeah. So I don't like him there in Toronto, man. I fear for it, because he has no problem giving out the money. So anyway, that's just me. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, no, totally fair. But I think now it's like, again, like the money being paid out is absolutely ridiculous. But now it's on to the, like, the thing is, the Maple Leafs do have the talent. I
Right.
think Huberdeau was an overpayment, absolutely, because one good season for that didn't really deserve it.
Sure.
Kadri was looking for a payment because he did win a cup. I think he has that to his name where maybe he could get a little bit more, but is he going to be the one to be the driving force on your team?
Right.
Probably not. So he had a case, but the Maple Leafs had star players. And again, accolades, be it damned or whatever.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot aside from Matthews winning Rocket MVP.
Didn't matter. Yeah.
Marner got nominated, but he didn't win anything. So I feel like, you know what? Matthews is, again, postseason, you got to perform. But Matthews has delivered consistently every single season. Now let's try and see Marner do the same, but when it matters most.
Yeah.
Because, you could get 90, close to 100 points in the regular season. Matthews has done that great, but now it's time to show up when it matters most. And that's for everyone.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to show up when it matters.
For Nylander, for Matthews, and if it were me, like if I were the GM, I know you don't, like you're not a big Treliving fan, but if I was the GM, I'm like, okay, you got paid. Now send it for you to hold up your end of the bargain. And a lot of the players maybe, like everyone's going to say like, oh yeah, they got paid. They don't really care anymore. But
sure,
you know what? If you want to win a championship, if that's what matters more to you than actually, making money, then you may need to reconsider where you want to be.
But I also don't blame the players for taking it, right?
Absolutely. I think you want to get your big payday. That's 100%. Yeah. But there comes a point now where you got to say, after you sign that contract, okay, getting paid this much, everyone's counting on me. Now it's time for me to take it up a notch, kind of thing.
And I know they know it, right? You know that these guys know it, right?
Yeah.
So far in game one, nobody believes you.
Right? Oh, absolutely.
No one believes you.
And again, the big maybe is Matthews.
Yeah, totally.
Because Marner, I know Nylander's injured, but Tavares, he's been very quiet as well. Marner's been quiet.
Look,
aside from like 1 20-second shift from Marner.
Right. So the longer this series goes on, right? Like, you have to win in Boston in order to win this series, right? I'm not convinced that they can.
That's why I picked Boston in 6.
I am not convinced that they can win in Boston.
I said 5. I was about to say, can I reconsider to like 5?
Yeah, I said 5 games because I knew the Leafs could probably take one at home. But, do you think they're going to win game 2 now all of a sudden with the way that this is going?
Again, it's up for them to decide how they want to play.
Right.
It really is. In theory, I would say, they should go in and play pissed off with a mentality that, they should win game 2 after this performance, but you got to show it. We need to see the result.
So what's this here with, was Nylander? He's playing. I know that, but did he get injured?
No, he did not dress. Yeah. So it's like towards the end of the season where maybe something was ailing him. So he was day-to-day, Nylander.
Okay.
So there was talk about, because I don't think he played he did play in the final game, but after that, that's when he was like dealing with, something. We don't know what. He's just day-to-day. They're not going to give out anything more than that.
Right.
And it looks like McMahon has been out for some time as well. But he's been out.
So they're trying to find a way to get him back into it.
Yeah.
Totally. Interesting. Well, we got about 5 minutes left here. It looks like the Bruins are on their way here to a game 1 victory and lead the series 1-0 here. I think it hypes up game 2 even more.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it totally does. It changes this series entirely. If the Leafs find a way to win game 2, great. Series is back on, right? If the Bruins win game 2, I'm not convinced this team can come back from that.
It's a stranglehold, essentially.
It is, because all of a sudden, you're basically forced to, if you're down 2-0 here, the way that it works out here, you kind of have to win both 2 games in Boston, at least in game 5 and in game 7, if it gets that far. I know we're talking pretty far in advance here, but and every game's important, especially in the Stanley Cup playoffs, but to start off like this in game 1, pretty bad.
And my thing, and I go back to the very first period, the first 2-3 minutes where they were dictating the play. They were in the offensive zone. They had 4-0 in shots, and then that bad pinch leads to the goal. That just sucks the life out of the team that's very fragile mentally.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing with this, I'm the biggest thing all season too. This team, it's the little mistakes that always end up costing them. And that's basically what happened on every single goal in this game.
Right.
They could have they could have a 10-shot advantage on Boston, but it doesn't matter because those essentially pee-wee mistakes that Sheldon Keefe has called in the past.
Sheldon Keefe won't be the head coach if they falter big time here in the first round. He's done. I
agree. Yeah. I think that maybe he did sign a 2-year extension coming in, but there's only one more year after this.
And I agree with.
A delay of game penalty, so some life for the Maple Leafs right now.
I was just going to mention that they were talking about it here, and it looks like puck over glass here by Brendan Carlo as.
Oh, there was one of their PKers, so that's kind of okay.
You got to find one here, man. You
need one at least.
Yes.
But going back to Keefe, I think, if this ends anything less than a series win, it's cause for dismissal at this point.
He's done. Yeah, he's toast. Yeah.
The only problem is,
what a brutal way to get out of that.
Who do you get out, or who do you bring in? I know that Lindy Ruff is available.
No.
But that's there's been a lot of controversy among New Jersey Devil fans about
he's done, man. Yeah. He's such a bad coach.
So especially with him, the way that he called out the media on the power play. So come on, man. I agree with that. I agree with that. There's talks about him going back to Buffalo just for the fun of it because of everything that happened in the past. Okay, fine, whatever. It's just who do you go after?
I'm sure there'll be jobs.
There really hasn't been any talk of Craig Berube possibly coming back. This power play is an absolute choke. Oh my God. Man. And this is the problem with this team with the entries. Guy Boucher running the power play right now, it does not make any difference whatsoever.
Totally.
If the puck gets out of the zone, the Maple Leafs struggle big time to recover and get set up. It absolutely essentially pisses me off as a result of that.
I don't get it. I mean, I'm surprised Yarncroke's out there for being the first power play unit, right? But here, as Connor mentioned here, you're mentioning Lindy Ruff. He has to disagree why the head coach always that one to take the fall when this is the consistent problem. And it's totally true.
I 100% agree.
The players
100% agree.
The players have to actually play.
Yeah.
Right? And the players should have their own contracts ripped up if they fail to meet expectations. There should be a clause.
Yeah,
there should be a clause. Absolutely.
We burn it in front of you if you don't do anything.
Good chance in front scramble. No way. That puck goes all the way down here. No.
They pull the goalie?
Shots. They did. No shots on goal on that power play here. 2:37 to go here in the
I was about to say, when did they do that? Well,
on the power play, they pulled the goalie here with 2:20 to go here as they got to try to find something here. As again, the Bruins are on their way here to a Game 1 victory. Yeah, they pulled the goalie, I think, during the little bit of the end of the power play there. If this game ends 4-1, doesn't that give you a little bit of a flashback as it doesn't?
5-1.
That's an empty netter there. Gives it right away to Trent Frederick, and Frederick finds a way in. It is 5-1 for the Bruins as we have a Habs fan checking in here saying, "Let's go Bruins." As I have to jump on that boat. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I honestly think that right now Sheldon Keefe is
in trouble.
He's in trouble.
Easy giveaway. Trent Frederick easily finds a way.
There's only one name that I would consider for the Maple Leafs job.
Sure.
And this goes back to last season where we were discovering if he was even available at that point because there's still talk because Keith didn't have a contract.
Right.
And it's not even possible at this point. Yeah, no. So it's I can't even go to him. I was thinking of Mitch Love.
Yeah.
Calgary, also, guys, he signed with Washington.
Oh yeah,
Mitch Love.
Yeah.
So right. You can't even go to the guy that I wanted because of how he coached the farm system for Calgary.
Right.
So
it just updated. Sorry, I was going to remind people that it's 5-1. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it. That was just the only name because,
Okay.
But you know what? Lifeless effort. The mistakes killed them. They had no answer for anything after any of the goals. You're not going to win games if you can't respond. And this team can't respond, and it's up to the players to decide how they want to play ultimately. I mean, the coach, again, I think maybe Keith should have, laid into this team, especially after that second period. Or even halfway. Call a timeout and be like, you know what? This is just unacceptable.
Yeah. And you know what? You mentioned it though, right? Like no answers. And going into game 2, it's just more questions for this team. What happens in the goal? What happens with this defense change again? What do you do differently on the power play? How do you revitalize Matthews a little bit? Like there's just more questions here. And if you're the Boston Bruins, not a whole lot of questions, man. Like they know the answer.
You just dominated your opponent. You got to go back and rinse and repeat kind of thing. But
I think the Bruins know the answers to the test here.
Oh yeah, but you know what? Again, this is what I said before. If you come out flat-footed, you come out and you have a game like this, you deserve the result.
You deserve it.
Simple.
Totally. Well,
I don't need to have like a massive TED talk to say that this was absolute garbage and the Maple Leafs should absolutely feel embarrassed by this kind of effort in game 1.
Your next episode on 6 in the 6 is going to be interesting as the Boston Bruins with 4 seconds left here. They're going to call icing here, but with 4 seconds left here, they are going to take game 1 5-1 the final, and every Bruin fan is still in the building. Nobody has left.
Yeah.
As Boston finds their way up 1-0 in this series, heading into game 2.
I think all the empty seats are all Leaf fans.
Yeah,
if there were any.
Maybe. Want to give one last chance here to let everybody know here. 4 seconds left to go here. They're just going to drop the puck, might get a shot off here. And they do. And it's all done there as the Bruins find a way to win here. 5-1 here in game 1. That is it. And again, just want to let everybody know too, we do have 2 games going on tomorrow. We got Jimmy who will be live with us at 3:00 Eastern tomorrow. Game 1 between the Capitals and the Rangers will take place early Sunday afternoon. You'll find us again live tomorrow night. Later on, we will have Avalanche and Jets, myself and Neil again at 7:00 tomorrow. But that is it for game 1 between the Maple Leafs and the Bruins. I imagine we'll be live for game 2 on Monday night as well. But Peter, tell me, man, what happened tonight and what's your final thoughts here of game 1?
You want to know how to win a playoff game, you just got to look across at your opponent. That was textbook.
It is. That's totally it.
And this is the difference between the Maple Leafs and the Bruins, no matter what iteration of team it is, because they play with we talk about the Maple Leafs needing to have the passion or players having the passion, whatever. That's just a full-hearted effort right there. And I'm not going to lie. I love this interaction between Swayman and Allmark. I'm not going to lie.
It's cool.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
but
got it.
You have a good 3 minutes to start the whole entire game, and then you just absolutely not necessarily check out because there were moments where they tried to push back, but after a goal, there's no response. This team is literally inside their head, and the players are inside their own heads at this point. Mm-hmm. And that is not great. That is a problem. And if you can't figure out how to actually win a game in the playoffs,
you're done. Yeah.
You're done. You are absolutely cooked. And I hope they find the responses for next game. But that was just, again, I said this after game 1 last year when they got thrashed, I think 7-2 against Tampa Bay.
I believe so, yeah.
It was absolutely pathetic. I think this effort was pathetic as well. You can't come in and if it was a close game, like it was 2-1, 3-2, whatever, hard-fought game.
Sure.
You didn't see any effort or life whatsoever. That was just my take. And yeah, Samsonov, you need him to make a stop. I think he was left hung out to dry a few moments, but sloppy play is going to kill you every single time.
Couldn't agree more, man. Yeah, I'll just echo with what you said. I think we kind of talked about it throughout that whole third period, man, and no need to say it. So on that note, that might wrap us up for tonight. I imagine we'll be on the airs for game 2 for Leafs and Bruins. I want to bring this up for Connor too. Bookmark it. Game 3, Predators, Canucks. Neil will be actually jumping on with Dylan for game 3 Friday night. I'll mention it to him again tomorrow night when we're on for the 7 o'clock game. And again, for those of you who are still here, we will live again at 3 o'clock. Jimmy will be there for Rangers Capitals. Myself and Neil on again at 7 for Avalanche Jets in game 1 on that one. So with that, thank you again, Peter, for coming on. I know it's Saturday night. I appreciate
it. Love it. Hey,
and
kick off the playoffs somehow, right?
We got to kick it off on a good way. So I appreciate it. And if you get a chance to do it again, let me know when the playoffs coming up in the next couple of games, and we'll try to squeeze another one in. And yeah, that's how we're going to start off this THPN streams for the playoffs. We're going to be live every single day, guys. And I hope you guys can join us as well. So we'll end it for now. We'll see everybody again tomorrow. We got 2 games. Can't wait for it. And we'll be back again with the Leafs on Monday night. And maybe Peter can lose it when he's off the air on that one. But thank you again, Peter.
I was being very PG right now. So imagine me off the air. I'd probably go like next level Steve Dangle kind of thing.
Well, I'm sure he'll have a good video tonight.
Absolutely.
5-1 Bruins. They win game 1. That is it from us tonight. Thanks, guys, for watching. Thank you again, Peter, for coming on. And we'll see everybody tomorrow for more playoff action. Lots more to come. This is only day 1, and we can't wait for more to come. So thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow. Night, guys.
Say something.